across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Timok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car.
Miss Hogan's class?
Yeah, it's Atlantis.
Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really?
Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburn.com www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
At Tyson, we know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
HBCU, league pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU, league pass. It's game time, I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU, league pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU, league pass. It's game time, I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tyson, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Good afternoon, and welcome to game number 2 of the Tyson Foods Black College World Series. Live here in Montgomery, Alabama at Riverwalk Stadium, home of the Montgomery Biscuits. It's Brian Fulford and former Texas Southern standout and SWAC champion, Nick Strong. See how I did you? I had a nice setup there, Nick. It's good to be back on the broadcast with you, Nick. How you doing this afternoon?
Hey, feeling good, man. It's been a whole year without you. You know, we met last year at this time.
Buddy,
and,
missed you.
You know, yeah, we've been working, man. We've been working.
Well, we've got a great game number 2 here against between a pair of NAIA juggernauts, we like to call them. The number 1 seed in the tournament, the Florida Memorial University Lions, going up against the 4 seed, the Talladega Tornadoes. NAIA baseball at its finest, and standing in there on for Talladega, here is the left fielder, Rafael Diaz. Nick, what can you tell us about Talladega at the plate?
Well, one thing I can tell you about Talladega is they've got to hit the ball better than that number 7 right there, Rafael Diaz. And you know, that's not so normal of this Talladega ball club. You know, they know how to put up some runs. As I talked with Coach, Dominguez before the contest started, he mentioned he liked his offense here. You know, Jose Santiago, one of his leading home run hitters, he does lead the team in home runs. You know, he's got to make sure he gets this offense through the game today. You know, on the other side of the baseball, on the defensive side, you know, they'll go with Ricardo Blackman, their starting pitcher for today, who's about 85-88. But if they're going to win the contest, they're going to have to be Florida Memorial's pitching right here today.
And there's a fly ball deep into left field by the third baseman, Jose Santiago, and that's 2 outs already. On the bump for Florida Memorial, their pitcher, Max Charnin, and he's already, after striking out Diaz to open the game, gets Santiago to fly out into left field. And now coming to the plate is the catcher, Miguel Oropeza. I'll make sure I get my R's rolled here correct, Nick. It's going to be a long day today.
Well, last time since we've talked, you know, I've moved to Miami and I've had to learn about rolling that R and working that, you know, Spanish, working that culture, as they say.
A young man from Indiana learned how to roll his R's back in high school, thanks to my great Spanish teacher, Senora Fedora.
Senora Fedora,
yes,
all right.
She helped me learn how to roll those R's back in all the way in 9th grade, and it stuck with me as I matriculated down to Florida from the cornfield state of Indiana. So the count right now sitting at 2 balls and no strikes for Oropeza. The catcher on deck is the first baseman, Wander Arias.
You know, in Charnin, one of their, you know, weekend starters, actually, the weekend starter for these guys, the Friday night guys we say in college baseball. Charnin to try to give you as long as he can. Coach Tino Burgos is going to try to get, you know, maybe about 6 or 7 innings out of this guy. You know, if he can ride his team into the playoffs. They didn't play this past weekend. Talladega had some, you know, they're a little bit Florida Memorial is a little bit more fresher than Talladega right now, as we saw in the last game with Albany State. You know, was less fresher than Kentucky State, but it went the opposite way. We'll see if Florida Memorial can get deep into this contest with one pitcher and try to stay out the bullpen.
Charnin unable to close out there on that full count, and Oropeza gets over to first on a walk. Wander Arias, the first baseman, comes up, and they're going to have a pinch runner in for Oropeza, so that way at least Miguel can get his catcher's gear on in the event that this turns into an out.
Well, let's talk about that real quick because me and Nick Finch talked about that in the first game. NAIA right here has the reentry rule, and they also have the courtesy runner rule. So you'll see the catcher getting courtesy ran for when he reaches base, and or the pitcher if anybody lets the pitcher decide to hit for themselves today, Brian. I mean, just because you didn't need a courtesy runner when you got on the base pass and you played catcher, I know you were the speedy guy on the team.
Far from it. And safely walking in to first base. I believe that runner there was freshman Jahir Cruz, number 34, out there on second base. So probably rule that a pass ball. It's a ball lifted towards right field. Should be an easy out. Right field settles under it, and there goes the inning. So no runs, no hits, one runner left on base, no errors. We head to the bottom half of the first inning here at the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Got a Fernandez. I don't see, unless I'm missing his name, his center fielder. They've got him listed as Fernandez, but all I see is O. Fernandez. I have no idea. Back here live. First game of the day, Nick. Those kind of things happen first game of the day. As I'm trying to make sense of our starters out here on the field, so trying to make sense of who we have out here on the mound for Talladega is Ricardo Blackman. Behind plate, of course, Miguel Oropeza. On third base is Jose Santiago. Isaac Guzman is the shortstop. Adriel Acevedo on second, and Wander Arias is on first. Rafael Diaz out in left. Fernandez is who I was trying to make sense of out in center field. So we'll get a first name here again. Yuset Dominguez is in right. Coming up to the plate for Florida Memorial, their center fielder. And we'll got a bit of a delay here. Let's try to make sense. Not really quite sure what. Oh, I think maybe the third base coach didn't have a helmet on. But anyway, we'll try to set that up. Rohandri Javier is coming to the plate here, leading off for Florida Memorial. The center fielder.
I've had a chance to see this Florida Memorial team this season, and although the record says 23-21, 10-14 in conference, I mean they're playing teams like Kaiser, St. Thomas, Southeastern. They're in the Sun Conference, and the Sun Conference is what you consider the SEC of NAIA baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So this team right here, they're the number one seed in this tournament for a reason. They can really go.
So Javier takes the opening 2 pitches and is ahead on Blackman 2-0.
And you probably won't see anybody better than leadoff than this guy, Rohandri Javier. He can lay the bunt down. He can spread. He can go left to right. He's what you call a gap-to-gap type of guy. So this guy is one of the guys that are looking to get the leadoff hit to get the offense going for the Lions. But you
thought he had to
play
walk there.
4 balls here. Yeah, 4 balls, not 3.
I'm not mad at him, though. Not mad at him one bit. No, try to sell it. Try to sell it. 3-1 now. Blackman pitch to the plate. And that ball is lifted up foul just a little. You almost had one earlier.
Yeah, you saw that, huh?
I saw that.
Yeah, Nick Finch said his coach didn't tell him how to field ground balls or fly balls with his hand. We talked about Kevin Mitchell making the barehanded catch back in the late 80s, early 90s.
There's a blast from the past.
Yeah, Kevin Mitchell. When me and you get together, there's going to be a lot of old school references in the broadcast today.
Javier steps out of the plate.
You're going to hear a lot of vamonos today, Brian. 2 of these ball clubs, one of the most diverse ball clubs in HBCU baseball. And there it is.
There's a ball that gets past the third baseman in the left field, and there's a single on a full count there for Javier.
Great job by Javier, just sticking his bat out, just putting the ball to the left side between the 5-6 hole is what I like to call it. Great job by Javier to get this offense rolling. Now here comes the playbook a little bit. You'll see assistant coach, Coach Payne over there at third base running the offense for these Lions. And with Rodriguez up right now, you'll see possibly a bunt, hit and run. This team can open up the book left and right on you.
Ulysses Rodriguez, the third baseman, he drops a bunt down right there in front of the pitcher. The pitcher tags him, but the runner moves ahead to second. And perfectly placed bunt.
A little small ball there from the Lions, moving the runners over. You get the chance to get the leadoff run on base in the first inning. You want to kind of get the chance to go up early, put some pressure on these guys to play from behind. It's not a home game for the Talladega Tornadoes, but we do know they are close to home. They had the shortest drive, so the Lions want to get all they can here early on, don't want to leave any runs on the board.
That's a good point in terms of positioning here and how far teams had to travel. You're probably, talking about the team that had to travel the furthest, playing the team that had to travel the shortest
in
today.
The NAIA bracket.
Okay.
Bluefield State, I would think Bluefield State had a long drive as well. I just don't know the math on
we have to,
going down 95 over
maybe we'll figure that out for a little bit later in the day.
Maybe the people watching on YouTube can kind of give us the trivia. How long does it take to get here from Bluefield, and how long does it get here from Miami?
Right fielder Jalen Young is at the plate with a runner in scoring position. Blackman steps off the rubber.
I like the way Talladega is set up here in the outfield. They're playing straight up. They're going to try to get Javier at the plate, but nevertheless, they got to play some defense here on the infield if any ground balls are hit. And that's a good pitch by Blackman. Stay away here. Try to get the ground ball. Try to keep the ball out the air.
2 balls and 1 strike now, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning here. It's a ball that's lifted. Will it get by the shortstop? It may drop. No, left fielder comes in, cleans that up, and that's 2 away. Good job by Rafael Diaz out there in left.
Yeah, Rafael Diaz just patrolling the outfield, playing his part. Playing his part. That's what we talk about, being a team player, playing his part. The shortstop right there, this is huge, Brian. The shortstop, Guzman, didn't try to go make a SportsCenter, ESPN catch, or whatever it may be. He let his outfield work, and the outfielders have priority over the infielders on that baseball right there. Good job by the Tornadoes to get the second out.
Axel Gomez comes to the plate. Runner still in scoring position with 2 outs. Ricardo Blackman trying to get out of the inning without giving up a run.
Yeah, if the Lions can hop on the board right here with the RBI from, Gomez, that could set the tone here for the Lions early on. The Tornadoes, don't want to play from behind. They are the visiting team, although they do have they are the closest school.
The 1-0 pitch to the plate. Called strike. Evens the count at 1.
One thing I like that Blackman is doing, he's working the count. You know, he's working the batter. He's moving the ball in and out. You know, he's mixing in his off speed just right today so far. And he's holding the runner on really well. He's got to finish that pitch. That was kind of an in-between call right there. You know, the batter in Gomez, you know, saw that he was taking a little long. He threw off his timing a little bit. Let me call time. Let me reset. But good job by Blackman there. He didn't stop his motion. He came through and delivered the pitch.
1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Pitch to the plate, a little high. Ball 2.
It's what you call a waste pitch in baseball. You know, we'll waste one every once in a while. We'll waste one. We'll waste it. It's okay to waste it.
I think you'd. Okay.
It's baseball. That's baseball.
I think you'd want to be efficient.
Well, you can be inconsistently consistent or consistently inconsistent. That's what we use.
I love it.
Well, you have to. It's what
the 2-1 pitch towards right field. That's going to drop. That's going to bring a run in. Inside the fair. That's going to be 2 there for Gomez. And a 2-out single or double RBI for Gomez. And Florida Memorial is on the board with the first run of the game.
Yeah, good piece of hitting right there. Gomez saw the fastball up, and he saw a chance to put it in the right field area. And he got it down just to where the right fielder couldn't get to it. Lions on the scoreboard first. Talladega now has to play from behind. So now they have to step up a little bit and play a little baseball as well. My type of baseball game.
Gomez, a 304 hitter. Now at the plate, Luis Ruiz. Ruiz down foul. Third base line. Ruiz batting .372. Played in and started all 42 games for Florida Memorial this season.
You got to be a really good baseball player to play in all your baseball games. You got to be really conditioned. I mean, it's kind of like the Cal Ripken syndrome.
Yeah, you know, as you go through the statistics and you look in the book of these teams that are here and you look at their seasons, you'll probably only find maybe 40 or maybe a handful, probably less than a dozen, of guys who played and started in every game. And there is he's hit on the left shoulder or left arm, left shoulder area. And so Ruiz will take his place.
Yeah, I mean, in this college baseball game, you know, especially in tournament play, we talked about it earlier. You know, these tournament times, you can only take usually about 25 kids. You know, so as I talked about earlier, you kind of want to take maybe 12 or 13 hitters, you know, 11 or 12 pitchers, sometimes 13 depending on the talent level. You know, so you got guys that are playing the whole season because you have to. And you got to be really conditioned to play 45 games in a season. Even though it may not be all your games, but even at playing 40 games in a season, I mean, that's a lot.
Junior Sanchez coming to the plate now. He has runner on second and first. Looking to build that lead here with 2 outs. And Blackman managed to get through the first couple batters and then has had a bit of a struggle here as he's given up a single, a double, hit a batter. Now the count is 2-1 against Sanchez. Sanchez, the left fielder, batting .333 on the season.
Talladega has got to buckle down here on defense and get it out. We saw in that last game with Kentucky State, it kind of got out of hand with the shortstop making 2 errors. You don't want this first inning to get out of hand on defense.
Fouled off just past the first base coach. He evens the count at 2-2 with 2 outs. Deuces wild.
You knew that. Nick didn't know that.
No.
Nick Finch didn't know that.
I learned it from you.
Nick Finch, if you're listening, you got to know these things.
I learned it from you. So the 2-2. Ball lifted. That may be foul. Looks like it's going to be in the seats, about 5 rows up.
Are those souvenirs today, or are we giving those back?
Oh, no, those are souvenirs. Should be. Looking forward to a great crowd as the rest of this series goes along. Obviously, game number 2 here.
Who's the entertainment for the weekend? No, we don't have any yet?
Great question.
All right, we got to find out. Maybe get Cool in the Gang out here, huh? Is that your type of gang?
Well, hey now.
The OJ.
I would love to see any number of those great, wonderful acts.
What about Jay-Z and Nas? Can we get them out here?
I don't know about their place in a baseball setting. They don't. Right. Give me some old school.
Okay.
Deuces wild.
PMD
to Sanchez. And now we have a full count.
What about Meg Thee Stallion? Can we get her out here? Texas Southern graduate.
Well, I as much as I would love to see Meg Thee Stallion perform, not quite sure this is the not quite sure this is the spot. Meg Thee Stallion in baseball just doesn't seem to quite fit into the right spot.
Payoff pitch. Here we go.
Runners going outside, and the bases are loaded.
Well, the good thing about this is you have first base open. Sometimes when you have a walk, and there's the first baseman, in to talk to his pitcher. And he's actually going to get charged for that timeout there. So as you see the umpires going in their cards, it's not a coach's timeout. Now it's a coach's timeout. Here it comes. Coach is going to come out and talk to his guys. But a coach gets 3 timeouts. Coach gets 3 conferences with his pitcher. If you come out twice an inning, you have to take the pitcher out. But the players can also talk to the guys. They can also talk to the pitcher.
Right.
But they will be charged for a conference as well.
Fernando Villa scheduled to come up to bat for Florida Memorial.
He's also played in all the games as well, 44.
Fernando, the first baseman. Opportunity here to open this game up a little bit here.
One of the things that doesn't stand out to me, or that does stand out rather, is the Florida Memorial Lions, the leaders on the team for home runs is only 2. But about 3 or 4 of them have 2.
I have a thought on that as I've paid attention to other teams and stats. Vila lifts the ball towards center. Fernandez settles under it, and that is how the inning will come to an end. 3 runners left on base, 2 hits, 1 run scored, and Florida Memorial has a 1-0 lead as we head to the second. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car.
Miss Hogan's class?
Yeah, it's Atlantis.
Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really? Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Heading to the top of the second inning, Florida Memorial with a 1-0 lead. Plate now for Talladega, number 22, Adriel Acevedo. Acevedo, the second baseman.
Brendan, would you like something to drink?
There's a ball that's lifted towards left. Left fielder settles under it, and one out.
Yeah, Sanchez did a good job right there getting to that baseball. Almost overran it, but, you know, one thing you got to do in baseball when those fly balls come, as we say, you got to get to a spot. You know, you got to get to a spot.
Or water. Or water.
Right fielder Uset Dominguez, a freshman from Santiago, Dominican Republic,
Somebody bring me a water.
coming to the plate. There's a ball that might get over the shortstop's head into right center. Diving attempt by the right fielder, but it drops right in the little sweet spot between center field, right field, and the shortstop. In that little area there, as all three guys were converging on it, give some effort, or give 2 claps to the right fielder for making an attempt at it, but just past Young's reach. That was Jalen Young, so that'll probably be a base hit there for Dominguez.
Oh, it's all the way a base hit, but great job right there by Jalen Young, making a great effort to get to the ball, but the ball was in no man's land. It was a really good hit there. You know, one thing you want to do is when you see your pitch in a tournament setting like this, especially with no outs or 1 out, you want to get on base, because with no outs or 1 outs with a runner at first base, you still got a chance to run some offensive plays there.
Barry Rincon is at the plate, called strike there by umpire. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out, runner on first. Outside, ball 2.
You know, Rincon is a DH, and he's in a 7th spot.
Not where you would put a DH?
Well, I mean, it's just, you know, you kind of, you know, I coach my own team. But, you know, sometimes you literally assume, or, you know, I try to understand that the DH is in there because he's the best hitting option that you have. You know, and I just sometimes feel that I don't want to waste a DH in a 7, 8, 9 hole. You know, one thing that I've learned this year, you know, coaching NAIA baseball, and I've seen from other teams, you know, some of these coaches are using re-entry rule in the first inning, Coach Brian. You know, it's kind of I saw a coach that substituted his catcher in the first inning, and he's re-entry rule put him back in. You know, and it's just like, wow, you know, but that's what the NAIA gives you. You know, NCAA is so traditional, you know, sort of standard rules. NAIA, you know, a lot of ways to be creative in the NAIA, which is why a lot of teams, you know, remain in that organization.
Rincon goes down swinging on the full count pitch. And now Isaac Guzman, the shortstop, comes up to bat with 2 outs. Max Charnin pitching for Florida Memorial here.
You know, one thing I like about this Talladega team is they're not afraid to swing the bat. You know, not afraid to swing the bat. They will swing it on you. And, you know, you only give yourself a chance to get on base. I mean, unless you take 4 balls, but you can't get on with swinging, not swinging at all. You know, you definitely can't get on with not swinging at all.
And that is the beautiful simplicity of baseball that I love.
Yep.
Can't get on base if you don't swing. Well, you can.
Yeah.
But most times you can.
Yes.
2 balls, no strikes.
But that's also the beauty about baseball, because there's so many variables. I mean, you can't never say 100%.
No, you can't.
I mean, we talked about in the last time, when you're unsuccessful at the plate 7 out of 10 times, you're still a Hall of Famer when your career is over.
Yeah. 2 balls, 1 strike. That pitch is outside. Guzman showing some good plate discipline here, forcing Charnin to give him something good.
We saw that with Bernie Mac when he was a 3,000 hitter, when he was going to attempt in his 3,000 hit.
Is that
Mr.
don't make me Mr. 3000.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What's your favorite baseball movie?
You know, I knew you were going to go to that. I knew you were going to go to that.
We're ready for you. I hope you got your. Oh wow. I hope you got your Netflix ready, man.
You know what? I did not do my. I'm going to always go back to Bull Durham. I'm going to start there.
I like that.
And then I'm going to go to Major League.
That's fine. No, that's
Major
fine.
League
That's
One.
standard. That's
Major
standard.
League One.
Okay, 1. All right, that's standard. I can appreciate that. I can totally appreciate that. Matter of fact, we had a Bob Uecker reference last game in this contest.
There's a pop-up infield. Shortstop has it, settles under it, and does a great job of dealing with the sun. So one runner left on base, no runs, no hits in the top half of the second inning. Going to the bottom half, Florida Memorial will look to add to its lead. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Back to live action here in bottom half of the second inning. Florida Memorial comes to the plate. They're 8-9, and then back to the top of the order, 8-9-1. The catcher, number 41, Luis Velandia, is at the plate. Velandia, a junior from San Cristobal, Venezuela.
And, you know, we talked about it, Brian, the international game between these two teams. You're definitely going to see it. You know, head coach Dominguez from Talladega, who's also a Talladega graduate, but is also from Dominican Republic as well. You know, and Coach Tino Burgos, you know, with a lot of Latin flavor on his ball club. You know, it's just what we're seeing in HBCU baseball, you know. And not just HBCU baseball, but all across the nation in college baseball.
That ball is lifted into right field. Nice fly out, settled under by Dominguez in right. You know, I would say that baseball probably, if I think across the spectrum of your major sports, and I would include soccer in this, what I'm about to say.
Bingo.
It is probably your most diverse sport. I think you probably have a 40-40-20, very close to maybe 30-30, 35-35, 30, however you want to do the math on that, in terms of your ethnic groups. If I'm just projecting out and thinking about college baseball in general, especially at the Division II NAIA level. Nathan Harris comes to the plate here for Florida Memorial, already ahead of Blackman 2-0. He settles in there. There's called strike one.
Nathan Harris was in that home run derby here last year. Remember him?
No, I don't remember him, but he's the DH, so batting ninth. But you know, he is the best. I guess you may want to say the best hitter. That's a good point you bring up. Florida Memorial, who was here a year ago, represented themselves quite well.
Oh, man, they made it all the way to almost the end. I think it was the error that caused them against Xavier, to get put out that day, or eliminated, rather.
I'm trying to do the quick run in my head of teams here, and I think they are one of
Russ
two?
Is here.
One of three teams. 4 teams. One of 4 teams that are making their second appearance.
That could be trouble.
No, that's foul.
Yeah, it was Rust. It was Rust here last year.
Rust. Edward Waters was here.
And Edward Waters, that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, of course, you have the defending champs, Bluefield State, and then Florida Memorial.
So 4 teams.
Right.
So the 2 new teams are Talladega and Albany.
Yes. Along with Miles.
Oh, right. It's 8 teams.
And
Okay.
I should know this. And he makes Harris will get on base with a walk.
Kentucky State.
As I turn, thank you, Kentucky
right.
State.
I was just waiting for you. I was just waiting for you to kind of get there.
You were waiting on me. I was waiting on you.
There. Okay. That's what happens when we take a year off from each other, man. You can't miss me like that again.
I know.
Okay?
I'll do better. You're closer to me now, so I'll have to definitely get down there and come catch some games, maybe even call some games if you set that up.
Well, we got the beach. I mean, we don't have to do a lot of calling. I can just, we got a beach now.
Top of the lineup here, Rohandri Javier steps in the box. Got on. I believe he even scored in his last at-bat after getting on base. So let's see what he can do with a runner on first now. Nathan Harris is on first. And Ricardo Blackman wants to make sure that he doesn't get out to too big a lead there. The 1-0 pitch, and he goes back over to first.
Great job there by Blackman to hold the runner on over at first base, switching up his looks, as we like to call it, on the pitching mound. And switching up the timing looks, 1-1,000, 2-1,000 pitch, 1,000 pitch, 1-1,000, 2-1,000, 3-1,000 pitch. If you're a base runner, you call it the UCLA drill. UCL, and where does he throw to? So you got to remember to pick that up, whichever one that he's pitching on, and you kind of trying to steal the base. If you know he's going UC and he delivers, then you can kind of get a quick hit or a quicker jump if you're stealing on that C. See it. Let's test you right quick. UCLA. He waited a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So that's a good job of holding that runner on over at first base. Now you got to find a 6-letter word.
Yeah. Well, and see now, that's a lot. Look, a lot of teaching and educating going on in these coaching sessions.
We'll just go A through D. We'll just go A through D right now.
I think you do better to go alphabets.
We'll go alphabets.
And hopefully your guys know the alphabet.
D,
so you can go there.
D, E.
3 balls, no strikes.
For all you base runners out there and younger men trying to get into coaching, and maybe you might want to be a base running coach, which is an actual job now in MLB, base running coordinators. Up there's a quick pick, so he's trying to catch Nathan Harris off guard over there. Yeah, the MLB has hired, they have implemented a base running coordinator in each system now as well.
Wow.
Yep. So here it is. Let's go. A, B, C, D, E, F. He pitches on F.
The 3-1 pitch is on the outside part of the plate, strike 2.
So A, B, C, D, E, F, he's holding for about 5 seconds, the runner at first base.
And to your point, Blackman is doing a great job of mixing it up a little bit. Doing a great job.
Correct.
One of those teachable moments here that you don't hear talked about too often. The full count to Javier. He slaps that into right center field. Harris around second. He's going to go to third. Now, Javier ends up going to second. I've got to believe they missed the cutoff. That would have held Javier at first.
Well, you're not necessarily wrong, Brian.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna say he missed the cutoff. Yes, he did. But the kids, I don't even think they attempted a cutoff. He was trying to get the runner at third, but you can't throw through to try to get the runner at third with that guy right there. You've got to hit a guy on the middle of the field right here.
Yeah, the runner at third was gone. The runner at third was gone. Somebody should have called that. No one was going to stop him. I saw with his speed and where that ball was hit, because he was gone on contact,
now,
that he was going to third.
We were talking about the UCLA or the alphabet deal, but you can't forget about the batter. You got to throw his timing off as well. He didn't do that right there.
Ulysses Rodriguez comes to the plate. That ball is a pop-up. It's going to be foul territory. First baseman comes over.
That could be trouble. That could be trouble.
Wander Arias, nice play there.
I would have probably liked to see some sort of. They're already up 1-0. I would have liked to see maybe some sort of squeeze in that situation, or maybe even you kind of hit something a little bit higher and try to get it into the outfield. Maybe you pull something. Something that you can pull to the left center field gap or something right there to score 2 runs.
First pitch swinging. Not a big fan of first pitch swinging. And that brings up Jalen Young now, the right fielder, with 2 runners in scoring position. That ball is hit towards left center. Center fielder coming over, settles under it, and makes the out. So good job defensively by Talladega. No runs scored in that inning. 2 runners left on the base paths. We head to the top of 3 with Florida Memorial leading 1-0. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
We're going to head to the top of the 3rd inning for Talladega. The 9-1-2 batters. So we have not seen the center fielder for Talladega come to the plate yet.
He's the only one who hasn't batted. It's the only starter who hasn't batted.
Yeah, the only starter who has not batted yet. We don't want him to feel left out here. Darlin Fernandez, a freshman from Bonao, Dominican Republic.
A lot of baseball being played in the Dominican Republic right now. A lot of kids trying to get over here and, not only play collegiate baseball, but also get their college degrees. A lot of education over here in the U.S. And, a lot of those kids want to stay and play a little baseball. But believe it or not, Brian, there are a lot of kids who want to stay and go, who kind of want to go back home and offer their educational services to the country where they were born, which is a great thing. We can't forget about the term student when we talk about student and we talk about student athlete.
Well said. Well said. And these young men, who knows how many people they may inspire with their stories about what coming over here to a school in Talladega or to a school in Miami Gardens, what it might do for, them and their future.
And you'll also find a lot of these kids when you talk about maybe majoring in sort of some sort of business or sports administration, so they can get that athletic training so that they can take it back over to their country. A lot of these kids in the Dominican Republic have what you call international agents. So these international agents who work in the Dominican Republic, they kind of help the kids kind of get seen. You can find a lot of YouTube videos on these guys. And, some of these coaches out here just working for their kids. They're calling coaches like you. They're calling coaches like Coach Burgos. And they're calling coaches like, Coach Dominguez and trying to find, homes for these young men. They're finding them in the community college level or the JUCO route. And then they're finding them also at the 4-year level as well.
Fernandez takes first base after being hit by a pitch. The first hit of the season that his body has given up. And he's running already. Sliding into second. Now he'll head off to third. I tell you, there's no impatience there by the young freshman.
Coach, I'm not sure why they weren't prepared for that. I didn't see the shortstop at the bag, and I saw the second baseman still at his position. The catcher threw the ball, and the shortstop should have been there, or the second baseman should have been there, but it was the play action of the bunt that kind of drew the second baseman over towards first base, and the shortstop never covered the bag at shortstop. They've got to do a better job of covering that next time.
Rafael Diaz now at the plate. He's swinging away. I didn't, it's funny you brought that up because Fernandez was gone on the first lift of the leg. I mean,
right.
There was
first
no
movement.
I mean, now, if the pitcher, Charnin makes a play over to first, he's out because
Correct.
I think he was going regardless. There's a foul ball.
Coach, you got to make that play.
Yeah,
my goodness, Coach. How can you teach kids how to make plays?
Well, he doesn't have a glove on.
Well, that doesn't matter.
Still, he's the coach. He's got to make that.
Yeah,
and it looks like he's got a glove on too, so he should have. He's got a batter's glove. He should have definitely made that catch.
There it is.
And that ball is hit into right field in a single by Diaz. And give credit to Fernandez for his base running to set that up. Definitely, I think, caught Florida Memorial off guard, and he engineers the first run of the game for Talladega, ties the game up at 1.
Yeah, Coach Burgos is going to come out and talk to his kid right now. Just, kind of settle him down a little bit, let him know, hey, you're not wrong, you're not hurt. 1-1 ball game, 1-1 ball game, and we're still in it. But in that situation, we talked about in the last game, the Florida Memorial Lions gamble right there. They play at the infield end trying to stop the run at home. They weren't wrong. They gambled, and it didn't work. But sometimes, some coaches, will give up that run, concede that run. Maybe that ground ball is hit to the second baseman. Maybe the second baseman makes that play, and you got one out in this situation with the ball game tied at 1. So a chance for the Talladega Tornadoes right now still to kind of, put some offense here, run some offense here, drag bunt, sacrifice bunt, hit and run, as we talked about earlier. You never know, maybe a slash, maybe a fake bunt. You remember that play when you were in Little League? I know the coach taught you how to fake bunt when you were little.
Nick,
show the bunt, bring it back and hit it.
My Little League baseball skills and my history very limited. I watched other people. I lived through other people.
Right, you're from Indiana.
I was not playing baseball.
You played baseball.
I played baseball,
everybody
but
played baseball in the cornfield.
But I was focused on another sport.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but it was summertime. In the summertime, when it was 98 degrees, I know you played baseball on Saturday morning.
You were right. I'm not going to disagree with you.
I know you did.
Not going to disagree with you.
I remember,
but I was a better neighborhood ball player than I was
we
a
talked about
Little
that
League.
last year. We talked about that last year.
There you go.
We talked about
much
that last
better,
year. That's right.
Much better.
You were the last one to get picked up, but you still played.
Yes. Oh, that was a good one. I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
I see what you did there. You didn't have to go there. That's all right, though.
I'm going to tell you why I was the first football player to get picked up in the neighborhood.
You were probably fast.
Well, I was the youngest, and they didn't want to make me cry. So somebody had to take me, but they took me first, not last. How about that?
Santiago's at the plate here. They're running another runner going.
That's better. Great job.
And is he out? Is he out?
He is. He's definitely out.
He is out. It's a great throw there.
Now, great job, although he showed the bunt there. It was a steal. But you show it just to draw some play action, as we talked about. Throw the third base runner off or throw the second baseman off to try to run over the first, and maybe you had what you had last time. But, like I said last time, Florida Memorial need to be prepared for it. This time, Coach Brian, he was.
Valandi making that nice throw. And so now we have one out here. Count is now 2-2 to Jose Santiago. Miguel Oropeza on deck. Got around on that early.
You at least play softball, right? Did you all,
when there was an opportunity.
Did you all have the big Cabbage Patch softball growing up? In the neighborhood?
I know what you're talking about. No, not in the neighborhood, no.
You all played rubber balls?
No.
Off the wall? You played strikeout, right? in a schoolyard. No,
we played basketball in the schoolyard.
You
Nick, I keep trying to tell you, I grew up in Indiana.
Make sure. Indiana, yeah, I know. Well, okay, all right.
Santiago, that ball gets lifted over the shortstop head or the second baseman's head, into right.
Okay.
And Santiago gets on base, and that'll bring up Miguel.
Did you at least play basketball in Indiana? Did you at least play basketball?
That concept of basketball, that sport didn't come around until the 2000s. That was that new millennium sport.
Had to ask that one, man.
That was a good one, though.
Basketball. Hoosiers. One of your favorites?
All-time favorites.
Yep.
Runner on first.
That was a legendary gym, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. So ball hit towards third base. Chance for.
Oh, man.
And they settled on the one. I don't know if they pulled up on that probably as a result of the runner coming towards second, but they only went with the force. And so the 5-4 yields the second out, and we've got a pinch runner. Courtesy runner, excuse me. Jair Cruz comes in again for Oropeza.
And we talked about that. For all you young men out there and families that are watching this game, you kind of see a different style of strategy between the first game and the second game. In the NAIA, you are allowed to use a courtesy runner for your catcher and your pitcher.
Wander Arias, that bitch is that high and tight. One ball, no strikes. 2 outs here. Outside, ball 2.
And usually with that courtesy runner, you're going to get your fastest guy in there. So, I mean, not a good pitch to steal on right here, 2-0. You're more than likely going to get a fastball. But, in certain counts, you can get your courtesy runner in there to steal a couple of bags if you can get it.
Arias ahead. Ball is low. Arias, the first baseman, doing a great job here. Now the count, 3 balls, no strikes. Runner sitting on first. Called strike. Takes that one.
Sharna's got to find his way back in the groove a little bit. I don't think the bullpen wants to get up so soon, but Coach Burgos is going to send somebody down to the bullpen. Looks like it's going to be number 19, Samuel Brasenio.
The 3-1 is outside, and now Talladega has 2 runners on. Strange inning here, Nick. I think the way it started, and now it kind of went with an out, and then the runner getting caught stealing.
Yep.
And now we're faced with 2 outs and 2 on.
Well, like I said, it stems from that leadoff hit, that RBI. You got runners at first now with no outs. Instead of playing the infield back, possibly you get that ground ball, and you're out the inning right now. So baseball is one of those sports where you dang if you do, you dang if you don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it works itself out here. So runners at first and second, you're still not in much trouble. Tie ball game right here, and you've got the home team, and you got your meat part of your order coming up as well.
Adriel Acevedo at the plate from Moca, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, all right.
Puerto Rico.
So a collegiate team where you have kids from Puerto Rico and the Dominican, 2 of the meccas of, international baseball. We threw a Benicio Santiago reference in there early on this morning. Did you hear that one?
No, I did not.
Yeah, we had to go old school catcher reference on him. Puerto Rico.
San Diego Padres, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely the Padres.
The 0-2 pitch by Charnon is high, ball 1. Trying to get out of this inning here with 2 outs, having only given up 1 run.
Yeah, if Charnon can get out of this one, maybe he can still last about maybe 2 to 3 more innings for the Lions. Tornado's looking to hop on top, and a hit will open it up for him.
The 1-2 fouled off down first base towards the Florida Memorial bullpen.
And that's going to stop the time. That's going to stop play.
Oh, that's a long run.
Yeah, it's a long run.
Gotta hate that. Young man's like, I didn't come out here for that. It's hot. Unlike the other bullpen, which sort of has a backstop behind it, the foul ball.
Now, who goes and gets the foul balls outside the state?
Those have got to be free. Those have got to be free.
Oh, those are the free ones.
Those have got to be free. Unless they're just sitting over by the parking garage that's across the street.
Nothing like hanging out at Wrigley Field and catching a home run ball on Wayland Avenue.
You've done that before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Just looks enticing.
Very much so.
1-2. Fouled again.
So. Those home
going
run
towards
balls,
the sweets.
Those home run balls gets hit. Those home run balls get hit, and then all the fans run towards the ball because they're listening on the radio or, they're watching a screen outside on television, man. It was fun growing up watching baseball in Chicago. Very much so fun. Minor league baseball in Indianapolis.
The Indians, Indianapolis Indians. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Outside, ball 2. Yeah, formerly minor league baseball for the Montreal Expos.
Okay.
Actually, let me go back. I think it was the Expos back when a young man who wore number 45, later for the Expos, was a minor leaguer.
Vladimir Guerrero.
Fouled off. No.
Oh, you mean old school Expos?
Old school Expos.
Oh, wow.
Yes, before he went on to become a Hall of Famer with the Boston Red Sox.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe he did a little stint there in Indianapolis, but before that I think it was the Cincinnati Reds also. So both teams had a little stint there working with that ball club. Deuce is wild here. The 2-2, and Charnin steps off, checks the runner over at second.
Now, we talked about this earlier. Maybe that was some play action there to throw the batter off with some off-speed action right here in the batter's box. See if he hits the outside corner here. He tried.
So the count is full now for Acevedo.
And now you'll see the runners at first and second getting an early start, taking off with 3 and 2 outs. No harm done if they run a little early here, but you don't want the pitcher to step off or pick off and put one of these guys in a rundown. There it is.
And a swinging, and there's a strikeout by Charnin to end the inning. So 2 runners left on the base pad for Talladega, and our score now tied up at 1 after the 1 run scored by the Tornadoes. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car.
Miss Hogan's class?
Yeah, it's Atlantis.
Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really? Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
It's like a loot machine. All around town.
bottom of the third inning here, and Axel Gomez comes to the plate for Florida Memorial, the shortstop. Batting .304 on the season. Score is now tied up at 1 after Talladega got a run in the top half of the inning.
Yeah, good spot right there for Talladega to score. They didn't want to let the contest get too far out of hand without trying to tie it up. It's tough to play from behind, especially in a tournament setting, knowing that you don't want all the pressure here too much early on. So great job by Coach Dominguez to get that offense in order and getting them at least one run that last inning.
2 balls, no strikes.
And I'm not sure what the third baseman right there is doing. You got to watch it, Santiago, because when he showed bunt, he kind of stayed back
moved.
there. Yeah, nobody moved.
Nobody believed it, maybe,
No, some of your best bunters are some of your best hitters.
2-1, swinging. It's Gomez.
Because when you have to bunt the ball, Brian, you got to remember that's a C and I deal right there. You got to have some good vision, some 20/20 to see that ball and place it on that bat with a bunt. It's not easy.
Ricardo Blackman pitched to the plate, fouled off towards the Talladega dugout.
You know how Tony Gwynn did this? I mean, could you imagine him having to face Tony Gwynn?
Imagine who?
I mean, you as a pitcher, anybody. My goodness. I mean, a guy that could see the ball so well, that could just stick the bat out and get a hit at any given time. It's a skill that not many possess.
2-2 outside and away. And yet, I don't think Gwynn ever had a hitting streak that went longer than maybe 30-something games. 40 if I quickly do a quick search. Full count to Young and caught him swinging. Because that pitch was up and in. I don't think that pitch was a strike. Would have been a ball if he had stayed back on it, but good pitch there by Blackman, one away.
Yeah, but he got caught in no man's land right there. That was a good slider. If you see, it kind of came more inside and hooked, and it kind of came at you, and then it kind of curves back to become in a strike zone. So you got to be a better hitter, taking a better swing than that sometime.
Luis Ruiz coming to the plate now. The second baseman. Among leaders on this ball club, batting .372, leading the team in batting average. And I've noticed, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, Nick, he got caught in a situation in the last at-bat where he was swinging away on the first pitch. Ended up being a pop-up foul. And here he is, down 0-2 after 2 swings. 2 pitches, already down 0-2. Steps out of the box here to take a second. Ruiz being very aggressive today. And he took that one on the shoulder. Might be the 3rd hit batter today by Blackman.
Well, we just saw that in the last at-bat. He's throwing the slider and the off-speed inside at the batter. And sometimes, Brian, just to be honest, you want to aim it at the batter's head. And when I say that, I'm not trying to hit him. But if you're throwing a pitch that you know hooks, it's not going to hit his head. It's going to curve right at his head, get out the way for you, but it's going to end up as a strike. So you've got to just do a better job of getting that pitch inside the strike zone, just like he did right there. He's got some really curving action coming from his arm side.
Junior Sanchez, the left fielder, at the plate now. Already down 0-1. Lifts that one foul.
There's so many Hispanic players here this weekend, Brian. Next year, you know what I would like to see? Maybe a Spanish commentating team.
Okay. Are you saying I need to toughen up on my Spanish over the next 360 some odd days?
No, I just think that maybe that when these guys that I'll let you call that one.
There's a single into right field, and Ruiz will stay at second base.
I just think maybe these kids' families, or maybe wanted to watch back in the DR, Puerto Rico, and maybe to have a Spanish broadcast, maybe that might help out. Just entice, enhance the broadcast a little bit.
be interesting.
The Astros have, most of the MLB teams have Spanish and English commentators.
Well, I was going to say, having a second channel.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. Put that one in the back pocket, and as we game plan about what to do for next year, work on doing something like that.
But it may still be good to brush up on your Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Just in case.
Fernando Vila at the plate with 2 runners aboard, 1 out.
Woo! He's throwing that slider.
Score tied at 1. Lifts that ball towards left, going towards the track. Could be. No, at the wall. Runner tags, slides into third. Might be the best hit ball we've seen all day. There's no wind. If the wind was blowing, though, that might have had a chance, as Rafael Diaz was taken all the way back to the warning track.
You know what I like to see in that situation, Brian? I like to do what we call one tag, all tag in that situation. I know a lot of runners are taught to go halfway, but in that situation, the runner at second was tagging. So the runner at first, even if he drops the ball, he's only going to end up at second, because the runner at second is only going to end up at third, right? So I like for that runner at first next time to try maybe tagging up, and when that ball goes to third base, that runner from first could advance to second at that time. Maybe you got runners at second and third right now instead of first and third.
Luis Verlandi, the catcher, comes to the plate now. Runners on the corners. The 1-0 pitch by Blackman. Called strike, evens the count up at 1. Two outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Blackman's focus clearly on the batter. Hit to the shortstop. Nice soft throw over to second base. And Talladega gets out of the inning as Florida Memorial leaves 2 runners on. No runs scored. And we head to the top of the 4th inning. Our score still remains 1-1. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Back to live action here. Heading to the top of the 4th inning for Talladega. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Dominguez, Rincon, and Guzman coming up. And if a runner gets on, Fernandez will come to the plate.
like to shout out our producers today, Brian, all our camera crew, everybody helping produce this contest.
Ball lifted towards left field. Left fielder coming in to gather it. He does make that catch. And so one pitch, one swing, one out.
It's always good as a pitcher to get that first pitch out. You know, get out the way with one pitch.
Keeps the pitch count down.
Do you know that means if you threw a perfect game, you could possibly throw it in 27 pitches?
I would imagine at some point somebody would just intentionally not take. Even if you even if you advertised this is going to be a strike, you're not swinging.
Well, can I say this? And I'll say it anyway. But did you see the new rule that they're using in the minor leagues where the guys can't step out the box, or they call a strike? Can't step out the box.
I thought they had a certain amount of time.
Well, and we didn't mention that earlier. In NAIA, there's an NAIA clock as well in this game.
Rinko lifts that ball towards left field, and another out for the left fielder out there. That's Sanchez. So four pitches and 2 outs now.
So if you notice, usually one of the umpires, the field umps, are going to have a time clock on them. I'm not sure if the first base has it or the third base has it, but they usually have a time clock where you get so much time allotted to delivering a pitch.
Isaac Guzman stepping into the box now, and that first pitch called a strike there by Charnin.
I'm all about get me a shot. So if you can get me a shot and you can sit there for a minute, then
The 0-1 pitch, and he's swinging. Big cut there by Guzman.
I think Guzman was swinging for the train track.
He was, yeah.
Try to put it back on the campus of Talladega. How far is Talladega from here, by the way? Did we find that?
No, we did not. Had to get one of the interns on.
Talladega's up near Birmingham, correct? Because I think Tuskegee is down here off 20. And I think Talladega's up north. You been to Tuskegee? Have you been to any campuses in this HBCU? Any of these HBCUs?
Recently?
Or just I've been to Miles.
Have not been to Miles.
Been to Miles.
The 0-2 inside.
I haven't been to Edward Waters yet either.
Had been to Edward Waters.
Okay. I guess the only one I've been to is Miles here in Florida Memorial.
1-2 down inside. Now that count evens at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes.
I haven't did my HBCU tour lately.
Yeah, it was a good time to do it during the summer.
Yeah, always. And spring break. And always spring break.
Mm-hmm.
And homecoming time.
Ball towards the third baseman. Over to first. And an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Lions as they get out of this inning. No runs, no hits, no runners left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Our score is still knotted up at 1 apiece. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say... Hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Back to live action here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th inning. Score tied up at 1 as Florida Memorial will come to the plate with their 9, 1, and 2 hitters. So again, that'll be Nathan Harris, and then followed by Rohandri Javier and Ulysses Rodriguez.
Number 25, Nathan Harris.
There's a ball that's hit towards right field. Harris is going to end up finding himself on first. So after being hit by a pitch in his last at-bat, he finds his way on by more conventional means this time.
And great job right there by Harris, just waiting on his pitch to drive. And, you know, again, as a leadoff hitter in any inning, you want to try your best to hop on base. Again, you just have so many more options with no outs and so many more chances to score a run. I'd like to shout out to all the people inside the YouTube chat. I had a chance to go check out the chat that's going on, Brian, and we got a lot of fans out there. Great bunt down the first base line.
And a beautiful job again by Rohandri Javier. And you talked about the impact of this young man, and already in now his third at-bat, we've seen it in every at-bat. He has made something happen for this Florida Memorial team.
Well, we talked about it last game, and we're talking about it right now. The use of the small ball, the use of the laying down a bunt, not necessarily a sacrifice bunt with no outs and a runner at first, but a drag bunt, you know, to try to get on base. I wouldn't mind that. Now you kind of open it up a little bit, runners at first and second with no outs. You can either play for the pass ball or you can try to come back with another sacrifice or drag bunt right here if you want. Or you can play for the hit and score a run if you get a hit. There's the bunt. There's the bunt down third base line.
Ulysses Rodriguez. Now, again, no outs here.
There was a question asked in the chat from what I saw. Is Bluefield State an HBCU? It absolutely is.
Technically, yes, they are. Now, of course, we've long talked about demographically, they may not look like your traditional HBCU, but they're still classified as a historically black college university. And I give credit to Bluefield State. They do not shy away from that and have done things to make sure that their student body make sure they understand that in their history. There's a throw over to third. Runner will be safe.
Coach, great job right there by Nathan Harris. The third baseman came in on the bunt, but the shortstop didn't break towards the bag. Coach Payne saw that and gave Nathan Harris the steal sign, and when that third baseman moves up and nobody's at the bag, you got to shoot over there at 90 feet as quick as you can. Great heads-up job right there by the Lions coaching staff. Now you got runners at first and third, which is even a harder situation in this position to defend.
2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch to the plate, runner on first going. That ball's lifted towards center. And he's going to have to go back to first and tag up at third. Harris is coming home. And the Lions have grabbed a 2-1 lead on the Rodriguez sacrifice to center.
Absolutely. Takes the lead here for the Lions, puts them back up in the column, in the runs column, 2-1. And, you know, just a great piece of running there by Nathan Harris to get that bag at third. You know, and that's something that you kind of practice. You know, but sometimes it happens in the game, and it just, you know, it just happens. You know, and as a coach, you got to be able to take advantage of those things. Those are the little, as we say in sports, the little things that matter. I'd like to see another button right here.
Jalen Young steps in the box now. Runners going, and no attempt at all by Oropeza. And so give another stolen base to Javier. He was going regardless. He was already on the sacrifice out to center field. He was gone and trying to create an opportunity. And I guess I might even be a little surprised that there was no attempt by Blackman.
Well, there was a bobble behind the plate.
Well, I mean, in terms of Blackman checking Javier over at first.
He didn't
go through the dance. They didn't go through the dance. Yes, they didn't go through the ABCs or the UCLAs, the alphabets and everything else going on there.
And I saw a comment on the YouTube chat, and the guy said, if he gets the G, the batter needs to call timeout. So we got a guy in the chat helping us out doing the education.
Okay.
And we're gonna call him our social media commentator educator.
I love the education. 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Rahandri Javier out on second. There's the first strike there to Jalen Young. Foul ball, way over our head.
I heard it.
Heard it as well. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on second, in scoring position. Pitch to the plate, on the corner, called strike 3.
Good job right there by Blackman just to paint the outside spot. And that's what we call a Rembrandt. A guy who can paint the corners, a guy who can get in there and, get those pitches in there when time of need, just like that. And that's the right time to try to freeze a batter with 2 strikes. Put it actually outside the zone. Let the umpire call it a striker ball.
Axel Gomez comes to the plate, leading the team in RBIs this season with a team high 37.
Axel Gomez actually started the season playing third base. He got kind of moved over to shortstop, is what Coach Chino Burgess said.
Pop up towards first base. And that's going to be the sun will give Gomez life as Wander Arias really couldn't make that play. You can see at the very last minute, I think he lost it in the sun. No clouds in the sky here. Beautiful day here in Montgomery, Alabama, which can play as a bit of a disadvantage. So with an 0-2 count and 2 outs, does this extra opportunity give Gomez a chance to bring home another run? Or can Ricardo Blackman get out of this? The pitch to the plate. Lifted towards left, high, going towards the left field. That might get out of here. Gone. Unbelievable. 2-run home run. Axel Gomez, who is given life thanks to, you can only describe as the weather conditions being unkind to Talladega, and it ends up yielding the next pitch a 2-run home run by Axel Gomez.
Brian, I can't. How many times have we seen it? The error happens with 2 strikes, with 2 outs, and then the home run happens. Wow. Not only did that error hurt the team, but the pitcher's mindset. You're out there competing, 95-degree weather. It's nice weather outside, and, you get the error and then you give up a home run. It just doesn't look well. It just doesn't feel good as a pitcher. I hope that Blackman can come back from that.
And Wander Arias has got to be feeling just as bad because, that's normally an out that he's making. But, again, when you just lose it in the sun, you lose it in the sun. And so there's the strikeout there by Ricardo Blackman. But Florida Memorial opens it up here in the bottom of the 4th inning with 3 runs. Give credit to Axel Gomez with the 2 RBI home runs left. And the Lions now have a 4-1 lead heading to the 5th inning. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. she always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car.
Miss Hogan's class?
Yeah, it's Atlantis.
Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really? Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
So as we open up the top half of the 5th inning, Talladega, there's a bunt attempt there by number 13, Darlin Fernandez. And Florida Memorial able to get that out on a nice 1-3. Good piece of glove work there by Max Sharnin. And now at the plate, top of the order, Rafael Diaz.
Education message coming right here. Education message. You mentioned 1-3. I think that was the first time we used numbers all day to describe an out. For those who aren't understanding what 1-3 means, 1 is the defensive number of the pitcher, 2 is the defensive number of the catcher, 3 is the first baseman. That means that the pitcher threw it to the first baseman for 1-3. Great job there, Brian.
Thank you.
Second baseman is 4, shortstop is 6, right third base is 5, left field is 7, center field is 8, right field is 9. The DH is what?
Well, technically, I mean, he's wherever he's put in the lineup in the batting order. He doesn't really have a number because he's not a fielder.
Just thought I'd keep you on. Just thought I'd keep you on balance.
Okay,
there. Just make sure you're paying attention.
Trick question. You know, I like to throw those to my kids, my students as well, and they look at you like, huh, what? Anyway, 3 balls, 1 strike.
Absolutely.
Diaz. And he takes ball 4. So now Rafael Diaz gets on base. And that'll bring Jose Santiago, the third baseman, to the plate. So a big 3rd inning, or a big 3-run 4th inning there by Florida Memorial. Sort of open this one up a bit, and let's see if Talladega can answer with 1 out and a runner on. Santiago fouls it off.
Like to shout out Jeremiah Clark listening to the broadcast today, one of our YouTube social media commentators. He says he loves to help you out, although you're a FAMU grad. He said "the" all day. What does that mean? What is "the"?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. Never heard of "the." The Texas Southern? No, I mean we don't call it "the."
As far as I know, it's a word that's technically probably not in the dictionary. Somebody that wanted to feel elite and threw an extra E on 3 letters. That's all I know.
Oh my goodness!
Foul ball. It's a good cut there. And actually, yeah, almost to the railroad tracks, but a foul. So anybody walking the railroad tracks over there. And we've talked about this many times. I remember we talked about this last year, and we'd love to see somebody hit a train.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
You know, I talked to the organizers and said, you guys ought to have a contest.
There's the train. I hear it. Here it comes.
Scholarship opportunity for anybody who can hit the train with a shot to left field.
More ideas for next year, huh?
More ideas. More ideas
for next year. Sponsored segment.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Maybe you can sponsor that.
Pitch to the plate, and he got on that early. So Santiago staying in there. Santiago, sophomore from Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball is lifted towards left. Left fielder's going to settle under it, though. Finds it. And there's an out. Runner goes back to first. 2 outs. Looks like the wind is blowing a little bit in out there as I look at one of those flags up there on top of the Montgomery Biscuit scoreboard. So, although in right, though, as I look at the American flag, it is dead silent over there. So, nothing's happening over in right field. It's a little bit of wind blowing from left to center.
Yeah, that American flag is just flat.
Miguel Oropeza comes to the plate, the catcher. First pitch called strike.
Sharman going deep into this contest, into the 5th inning now for the Lions of Florida Memorial, giving his team a chance to be successful here. And we got a ball coming down from the bullpen.
And at this point, you know, I think you probably are likely, you know, to let him pitch a few more innings with this, as long as you maintain this comfortable lead of 3 runs.
Because he's burned for the weekend after this anyway. I mean, he's pretty much 60, 70 pitches. You're probably not going to see him
There's
again.
a high pop-up. Way up in the air. Third baseman settles under it. He's got on sunglasses. No chance of dropping that one. And so 1 runner left on base. No runs scored. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Florida Memorial leading 4-1. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Brian Fulford and Nick Strong here. Looks like we have a new pitcher on the mound for Talladega. If our eyes are correct, as Talladega, of course, in the... And I'm gonna apologize now, Talladega, because I don't know if your colors are maroon or crimson or burgundy. I don't know what the official school colors are, so I'm gonna apologize in advance. Reddish with the blue numbers trimmed in white, because people get a little sensitive about that.
That's definitely Columbia blue.
Okay,
Columbia
blue.
I'm sorry.
You hope.
I hope because even the catchers got on Columbia blue.
They may call it something else.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's Talladega blue or something
Talladega
like that.
blue, right.
And Talladega red.
New pitcher on the mound appears to be number 18, Jack Wood, a freshman, 6'4", from Talladega. There's a first pitch or a second pitch swinging out as the shortstop. Isaac Guzman cleanly sends that over to first base.
Yeah, you talked about cleanly. That was really clean. And I talked to Coach Dominguez earlier. Gomez is actually a catcher/outfielder, and they converted him to shortstop. So, being able to make plays there at the shortstop position after you're playing catcher and outfield, that gives you 3 dimensions on the defensive side of the baseball right there. I like that in Isaac Guzman. And we got some trivia answered for us. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Will Morrison, FMU, around 677 miles from Montgomery.
670?
677, just about.
Okay, so has anybody done the on we're
Bluefield?
wondering about Bluefield.
Yeah, think about Bluefield.
Ooh, that was tight. Fernando Villa standing in there in the box there, facing Jack Wood. 1 ball and 1 strike outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 towards center field. Fernandez settles under it easily, and there's out number 2 for Talladega.
Great job here by Jack Wood just to come in and get outs. That's what you got to do as a bullpen guy. You don't want to be coming in there, getting deep in the counts as a bullpen guy. You want to come in and, have him put some wood on the ball or some metal on the ball, but you want to have him get it to one of your defenders.
Luis Verlandi coming to the plate now. And, he might have got hit on that one. Back, yep. And he does get hit. So, real quick, he takes his base after that's probably the 4th hit batter by Talladega pitching today. By my unofficial count, I'm still waiting to pull up our StatCast that we have, our live stats. And just as I say that,
here it comes. Nathan Harris trying to extend the inning here for the Lions. I like to see him wait on something he can drive to the opposite side.
First pitch, strike by Wood. And we got a time on. What do we got here?
A balk.
Balk is called.
So he said he didn't. He's trying to explain that he didn't stop. He didn't hold the, and he's going to have to explain to Coach Dominguez. Oh, absolutely. And as you see this year, if you guys haven't had a chance to watch any college baseball, the coach can only go to the foul line as of now. And that's actually due to COVID.
I almost. Okay.
Now, if he steps anywhere past that line, he's supposed to get a warning and maybe, toss from the game.
Oh, my goodness. I have no comment before I get in trouble here on live. I don't want to get in trouble here.
Well, there's some more rules, that you probably haven't seen. When the pitcher steps off, he has to make a quote-unquote baseball move to the back that he's attempting to step off to. And, there's just a lot of rules in baseball that's being changed and a lot of things that's being playing around with, So you just never know when those rules may go back to quote-unquote normal or when they might just stay the same.
They might become the new normal.
Right.
There's a buzzword. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Wood facing Nathan Harris. Runners now on second. Harris fouls it off. Good cut there by Harris. Harris, the DH for today for Florida Memorial. Count now settles in at 1-2 for Wood. To the plate, outside, ball 2.
In the first game, we talked about a Wood in the first game, me and Nick. A Wood that earned 20 strikeouts back in the late 90s. Do you remember that Wood?
First name Carey?
First name Carey from Dallas area, from Grand Prairie,
I did
Texas.
not know he was from Dallas.
He's from the Dallas area,
There's a high pop-up. It'll be foul, but the third baseman's coming over. And you almost have to scratch your head again. Another potential foul pop-up that should have been an out. The last time, I hate to do this to you, Talladega fans, the last time this happened, the result ended up being a 2-run home run to left by Axel Gomez. And we know Nathan Harris can hit, so now we sit back with bated breath at the 2-2 pitch by Wood. Called strike 3, and there is such a thing as justice by the baseball god, small g. And so Talladega gets out of the inning. 2 runners left on, 1 runner left on, excuse me, Florida Memorial. No runs scored. We head to the 6th inning with the Lions leading 4-1. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
We're heading to the top of the 6th inning. Talladega trailing 3 runs with the 4, 5, and 6 batters coming to the plate. That's Wander Arias, Adriel Acevedo, and Giuseppe Dominguez.
Is that a new arm on the mound?
Looks like we might have a new arm on the mound for Florida Memorial. We'll try to get in there a little bit closer. Looks like number 19.
I used to be able to, I had 20/20 vision at one time. Then I turned 38.
Samuel Brencino, 6'4" freshman from Providence, Rhode Island.
I wonder, was he on that Little League World Series team? Remember that Rhode Island went to a Little League World Series about maybe 10 years ago?
Now, if you manage to string that together with this, I will be super impressed here.
Rhode Island went to the Little League World Series. Legendary coach. He made headlines. Not as big as Monet Davis.
We'll close the book on Max Charnin. 5 innings. Gave up 1 run and 3 hits. Just a bit behind him.
Almost another Bob Uecker reference today. We had one earlier, just a bit outside, and both of you all changed it up. Just nice.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, don't want to steal from greatness.
Just a bit outside.
3 balls, 1 strike. There's a shot towards left. Will it stay fair? No, it'll go foul.
That's fair. Oh wow, I challenged that.
Well,
let's go to the replay booth.
I don't know. The good thing is you do have an umpire right there on the third base line. Yeah. So I got to imagine he's looking at that one. So Wander Arias with a good cut there. Count is full now to Arias. And he goes down swinging.
You know, that's how you know that's a good pitcher right there. A guy that just went deep down the left field line, although foul. You come back and you throw him away. And I talked about earlier, that's one thing that Florida Memorial likes to do with the mound, on the mound, move in and out. You can't give that guy the same pitch. You got to go out on that guy. Great job there. Great call.
Second baseman, Adriel Acevedo, steps in, takes ball 1.
Got a good ball game here. Almost coming up on 2 hours.
Is that on Disney Channel?
We started at somewhere around 12:30. Excuse me, yeah, about 12:30.
2 balls and no strikes.
I'm thinking I got something.
And now the Rio has Acevedo showing some patience here in the top half of the 6th. Forcing him to throw a strike, and he's unable to, and so Acevedo will be on first after taking a walk on 4 pitches. That'll bring up Jesuit Dominguez.
And I see more action about to get started in the bullpen for the Lions. It looks as though coach is not going to play any games with these guys from Talladega. He's going to get to the bullpen, and he's going to keep a fresh arm out there as much as he can.
First pitch strike there for Brencino.
You know, one thing that I see on the stat line for Brencino this year, he's got 3 saves. That lets me know that he's a stopper.
Third baseman comes over. Thought about going to second, but decides to go fielder's choice over to first base. So the runner moves over to second. And there's 2 away now.
And no need for him to go to second base in that situation. You're up 3 runs. That runner at second means nothing right there. Let's make sure we get at least 1 out. We go over to first base. And not to mention the footwork was great getting over there, Brian. You know, you talk about throwing a baseball, you have to be balanced. You know, you see quarterbacks with it all the time. You got to have balance when you're throwing that baseball. And he took his time. He made it over there. He made a throw, and he followed his throw as well. And it just looked pretty coming out the hands. I like it.
Barry Rincon. And that ball's going to get into right field. Is it enough to get a run home? Rounding third. Coming to the plate. We got to play at the plate. He is out. Beautiful tag by Miguel Oropeza, but a nice throw by Jesuit Dominguez. And Florida Memorial gets out of the inning as Talladega definitely tried to be aggressive there coming around third. And so 1 runner ends up being left on after the hit. No runs scored. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Florida Memorial protecting their lead 4-1. You're watching Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car.
Miss Hogan's class?
Yeah, it's Atlantis.
Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really? Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
All right, back to live action here, and apologize for missing that exciting play there by Rohandri Javier, who once again, Nick, finds a way on base.
Now, this kid is amazing. You know, I saw him off spring down there in Miami, just, you know, hitting the ball and spraying it wherever he wants to hit it to. I told you he was what you call a gap-to-gap type dude. You know, putting that ball in that right corner, right field corner, and the right fielder Dominguez just couldn't get to it how he wanted to. And then he ends up on second base. Great piece of hitting, but even better base running to end up on second base than Javier having.
Bottom of the 6th inning, 4-1 for Florida Memorial, looking to build on their lead. Pop up infield. Who's got it? The pitcher has it. Yes, he does. Jack Wood makes that catch.
You know, one thing that I see Jack Wood is doing is he's getting in on the hitter. You know, he's not doing the best job that, you know, you probably think a closer would do or a stopper would do. He's giving up, you know, a couple of hits and a couple of big hits. But at the same time, he's putting the ball where, you know, he's got the best chance of getting it out. And, you know, he's not a hard thrower. He's not throwing 90-91. But if you can get it in on the hands and, you know, not allow these guys to get around on balls, you know, he can do it. He can be very effective.
Jalen Young at the plate now for Florida Memorial. He lifts the ball, hits the ball. That's going to, foul. Couldn't quite tell if that was going to drop from our vantage point. It's a nice hit there. It's sliced towards the visitors' bullpen there.
Yeah, you're right. You know, he put the lefty slice on it. So we talked about earlier in that slice, the lefty's ball, when they hit into the outfield, it's going to slice over to the left field line. You know, so he was able to, you know, kind of put it where he wanted to, kind of, but not in fair territory. He went the right way.
Woods' pitch is low for ball one. Runner on second is Rohandri Javier with the leadoff double. There's a strike on the outside part of the plate, so Wood gets ahead of the batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
And he actually skipped that in on the dirt there. Jack Wood, 13 appearances all out the bullpen this year, 16 innings pitched. And that kind of lets me know that, you know, he was a guy that Coach didn't mind going to in a tough situation, you know, plenty of times throughout the year.
The 2-2 is tight and inside. And they check over at third base to see if the bat head came across the plate. It did not. So now we have 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Big pitch here for Jack Wood. To the plate. Fouled off. Towards the first base dugout.
Error.
Jack Wood can get him again on the hands inside. I think he may have a chance.
Hit towards the second baseman. Acevedo cleanly over to first. Runner advanced over to third, and there's 2 outs now.
And not a bad piece of hitting right there by the Lions. You know, one thing that we talk about in baseball in general, whether it's Pee Wee or whether it's college or whether it's pro, you got to move runners over. And right there, by putting the ball in play, you gave your chance for the defense to first make a play, you know, which you want to put them in a pressure situation, and, you know, maybe they make an error, who knows. But nevertheless, you didn't leave a runner stranded on the base that you got him on. You know, so getting a run over from second and third is a plus job for, you know, a hitter like that, of that caliber.
Axel Gomez to the plate here. His last at-bat was a 2-run home run out to left field. Broke this game open for Florida Memorial. Ooh, just missed hitting him there.
And again, the Talladega Tornadoes, Brian, are not going to be afraid to keep pitching inside against these FMU Lions. You know, the more times that you can get in on their hands and not let these guys get around on the fastball or the off speed, you've got a shot.
And that one does hit him. So the pitch right before was very close to hitting him. This one actually does. And again, as if I did a count here on, again, my unofficial count here on batters that have been hit is probably up to about 5 now.
You know, I'm going to go on a limb, and, you know, he's hit quite a few batters, or the Talladega Tornadoes have hit quite a few batters. They are going to need to, you know, control, you know, their pitches and their location. You know, you don't want this to turn into anything else. And that's going to come back.
That's going to be a hit into left field for Ruiz, bringing home Javier. Florida Memorial's lead grows to 5-1.
Now, if you're going to get that pitch on the inside, one thing you got to do is, you know, what a lot of hitting coaches will tell you, to keep your hands inside the ball. You know, as that ball comes inside, you've got to get further inside so that you can get a barrel on that pitch and do what he just did. And, you know, we haven't really talked about this much yet, Brian, but you know a lot about this on the football field. You got to get in the weight room. You got to be strong enough to pull that pitch from the inside and nub it just into that, right in front of the left field. That's a great job. The pitch. And the catcher was expecting a strike call.
Junior Sanchez steps in now for Florida Memorial with 2 runners on, second and third. And Wood steps off the rubber. Be interested to see if okay. Sanchez steps out of the box for a moment, calls time. One ball, no strikes. Pitch to the plate, fouled off. Bottom of the 6th inning, Florida Memorial leading 5-1. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wood. Outside, ball 2.
Kind of interesting here. Jack Wood went to that off speed right there with 1-1, and he stayed outside on him. I'm kind of interested to see if does he come back outside again.
The 2-1 pitch.
With third base open right now and 2 outs, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put, you know, Sanchez on with Vila on deck.
The 3-1 by Wood. 2 outs, runners going. Nope. And that'll be ball 4. Bases will be loaded for the Lions.
Nobody up in the bullpen for Talladega. So it looks as though Coach Dominguez is going to let Jack Wood get through this one.
Give me a shot, though. Let me sit there for a minute.
So Fernando Vila scheduled to come up. And a lot of people will come and huddle around each other around. Florida Memorial right now with 5 runs on 9 hits, having left 8 runners on the base pads. Talladega with 1 run, say that quickly 5 times, with 4 hits, 4 runners left on base.
We found out Bluefield was 544 miles away from Montgomery.
Okay, so
Miami is really far south.
So the answer to our trivia question definitely would be
FMU has the longest drive.
FMU has the longest drive.
Wow.
And are we in agreement that it's Talladega ahead of Miles with the shortest trip here?
Tuscaloosa, no, Birmingham. Miles is Birmingham.
Don't get me to trying to figure out my cities in Alabama.
Well, Miles is Fairfield. Fairfield, Alabama, I believe. But they play in Rickwood, which is in Birmingham.
Fernando Vila comes up. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. Slap towards the shortstop. Should be a quick force. He's going to go all the way to first. Makes the out. And they get out of the inning. Great job there by Isaac Guzman. And 3 runners left on base. Add that to the 8 previously. And Florida Memorial, even with a 5-1 lead, I'm sure they'll be scratching their heads and kicking themselves a little bit. We head to the top of 7 with the Lions leading 5-1. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
I'm really short. The way that the camera is set up, I was getting the way of the, it's just like turning and trying to zoom out at the same time. We had the little remote. No. Make sure you see the first read. I was trying to do that earlier, but I just kept getting in because I'm so short. It's just hard for me.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
Mom. Top of the 7th here for Talladega. Woo, and that pitch is high and inside for Isaac Guzman.
Yeah, and Isaac Guzman wanted to bunt that pitch as well. And, he almost ran into a fastball at his face. And, when you're doing that, when you're bunting, you got to remember to get out the way quick if you're like that.
Beautiful play by the shortstop there, Gomez, as Guzman step ball right back towards center. Gomez did a great job of getting over to field that, so 1 away for Florida Memorial.
And again, we talked about Gomez starting the year at third base, getting moved over to shortstop and doing a great job filling in at that position. Great play right there by the shortstop, Axel Gomez.
Fernandez stepping in the box here for Talladega. Darlin Fernandez. Samuel Brissino pitching his 2nd inning here for the Lions. Taking over for Max Charnin, who pitched 5 innings. And would technically probably be credited with the win.
I was just going to say, 5 innings at least when you're trying to get the win. 3 innings if you come in and close the last 3 innings, that's an automatic save. If you can pitch 7, 8, 9.
And what's the minimum? I thought the minimum was 5 or 4. What? 3 to get a win.
5 innings
to get a win.
Yeah, to get a win. Yeah.
Okay. So how do they regulate bullpen, quote unquote, bullpen games where maybe a pitcher might only go 3 innings?
The pitcher who's in after the first pitcher comes out
gets the win.
So it is what it is.
Even though if it's not 5 innings.
Don't matter.
Okay.
I don't know why. Got to talk to you got to get with Bud Selig or something.
Bud Selig. There's a name.
Yeah.
Fernandez thought he was safe to walk, but now the count is full. He slaps that right back at Gomez, and he cleans it up nicely. Again. 2 outs.
Gomez showing some leather there at shortstop. And, we've seen 2 good shortstops here today. Isaac Guzman and Axel Gomez. 2 great jobs there by 2 shortstops.
Top of the order for Talladega, left fielder Rafael Diaz. His 4th at-bat for the day. Showed bunt. Just looking to get on here. Diaz 1 for 3 today with 1 RBI. Tried to shorten up the strike zone there, but it's called strike.
I like Diaz at the leadoff spot. He's in hard out. He's made some outs today, but he's in hard out. And when you're hard out, that gives your team a good chance to be successful in that inning.
Went chasing after that pitch, and now he's down 1-2 here. The pitch by Brincino to the plate. That ball is hit towards right. And it's going to be just a clean single there for Diaz. So with 2 out single there for the Tornadoes leadoff hitter. And that'll bring up Yuswet Dominguez.
And it'll also bring out head coach here for the Florida Memorial Lions. He'll talk to his team a little bit, calm his infield down, let him know again he's got 2 outs. They're 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning, Brian. I think that's the main thing you want to look at here as a team. You're 1 pitch away, just a ground ball away, a fly ball away. And, you've got the 3-hitter coming up in Santiago, a guy that has hit 10 home runs this year, by the way. So, when this guy gets up, you have to respect the power that this guy can possess. If you're the Florida Memorial Lions, although you're up 5-1, you don't want this ball game to become 5-3 with a quick home run here, because now the Tornadoes will, receive a little momentum, and that's what you're trying to counter right here. You're trying to counter the Tornadoes grabbing some momentum here.
You mentioned the 10 home runs, but in terms of RBIs, he's actually only has 30 RBIs, which is 3rd best on the team. Actually 4th best on the team. A bit surprising. You normally would probably consider or think about the guy who's leading, and leading by like 5 homers over another teammate.
Well, what that tells me is that he's probably got a lot of solo shots as well. And he's probably in the 3 holes. So, technically, if the first 2 batters gets on base, you're only getting 3 runs out of the RBI instead of 4. When there's a cleanup guy and then a home run, whatever. You know what I mean? So, he's only maybe getting 1 person on base, or he's maybe got some solo shots as well.
Today, Santiago is 1 for 3. Trying to cut into this 4-run deficit. Top of the 7th. Hit right past Gomez into left. And that single puts another runner aboard, and that's 2 on board for Talladega.
Great piece of hitting right there by Santiago, just not trying to do too much. Not trying to hit the home run ball. I think in this situation you kind of want to try to get a little rally going, and you kind of want to make sure that you get some hits behind it, Looking for the long ball in the situation right there just maybe wasn't his deal, or wasn't maybe his strength. But now you can grab some hits, let the defense work a little bit, put some pressure on them, and you can get some runs the other way as well.
Miguel Oropeza.
And that's a way of getting a run right there, letting the pitcher do justice. So runners at 2nd and 3rd now, and a hit scores 2 runs. Now you're looking at a 5-3 ball game with a hit right here.
And almost on cue as I look up, Coach Burgos sends a pitcher down to the bullpen. So Brincino with 2 outs now. is unable to get out of this. He's got an open base, but a single could bring 2 home.
Looks like 27 Diaz.
Outside, ball 2.
He looks a little tired. You know, ball is getting a little wild. Doesn't have the same break that it had when he first came into the contest. You know, he's been out there inning and 2/3 now anyway, you know. So sometimes these bullpen guys are not going to go more than 2 innings. They're going to be strong for about an inning and 1/3. And, you know, there's the walk. Or excuse me, there's a 3-0 count now. Walk can possibly come after this one. And it looks though he's having some issues with the ball control, with the ball grips.
Yeah, I saw that on that particular pitch. He didn't look comfortable as he threw that one.
Sometimes that can happen. Even as a coach, when you're throwing your batting practice to you guys, you're out there for a minute and your hand gets kind of sticky. And, you know, when you're throwing the ball, it gets kind of stuck to you a little bit instead of releasing off, you know, real. So you got to put that rosin bag on it to try to, you know, dry it up a little bit and try to get that ball to roll off your fingertips. Now, when you were a pitcher,
no, never.
When you were a pitcher, did you ever use the rosin bag?
Never was a pitcher.
You didn't use the rosin
Never.
bag? Okay.
Outside, and they just decide to. I think they purposely gave up that ball there, and so that's going to send Oropeza to first. There'll be a pinch runner for him. Oh, excuse me, a
courtesy runner.
Courtesy runner. I've got to get that terminology correct. And that is one of the things. Obviously, we have a bracket with the NCAA rules. Yeah, the bracket here with the NAIA. And if I'm not mistaken, the actual World Series championship game will be played under NAIA rules.
Which is a good thing for both of these ball clubs because it actually, you know, helps you with depth.
Right.
And that's the one thing I like about NAIA rules. You know, in a contest where you played a weekend series, you know, your catcher's trying to run out in the 5th and 6th game. Why? You know, just play it on the NAIA rules, help both of these kids out, have a little fun, and, you know, it's always good to play a little non-traditional baseball.
Bases loaded for Wander Arias. As he took the first pitch, takes the second, 1-1. Big opportunity for Arias, who, you know, unable to cleanly field a high pop-up. And the next pitch after unable to do that led to a 2-run home run by Gomez. So I know he would like a bit of redemption here at the plate. Outside ball gets by the catcher. That's going to bring one in. So on the wild pitch, it brings Diaz home, and the runners advance to second and third.
Yeah, and Brencino just not having a good outing right here on the back end of his outing. You got to wonder if this is his last batter. Is Coach going to go to the bullpen? And, you know, Brencino just hasn't been, you know, precise and accurate, you know, in these last 2 batters. And with you, again, we talked about momentum. 5-2 is a score. Now, you don't want these Tornadoes to think that, you know, they can play with you if you're the Florida Memorial Lions right now.
The 2-1 pitch, strike. So, well, as we like to say, Nick, deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with 2 runners on. The pitch to the plate. Lifted towards right. Foul. Going into foul territory towards the hill. Out of bounds.
Not sure that was a good swing with 2 strikes. It was kind of high, but at the same time, anything close, you got to take a cut for it. And it almost panned out. That right fielder in right field, Jalen Young, he's kind of playing this guy a little bit off the line. He's not giving him the line. Well, he is giving him the line. Had he got that pitch down the line, maybe 3 runs scoring that instead of 2. Who knows?
Well, again, the 2-2 pitch.
Excuse me, 2 runs do score on that one
with 2 outs.
Second, third.
And he takes that one. Full count now. Well, no such.
Well, you got to wonder again. I mean, with 3 and 2, 2 outs, you want to try to get the runner out, but first base is open in case something bad happens.
There's foul off by a sliver, Arias. Working on his form here.
You know, that's what those guys do when they come over here, you know, from the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. I mean, they practice it walking up and down the street. You know, you can tell.
The visualization.
Swing. Yeah, absolutely. But that's what baseball is all about. You know, visualizing what you're going to do, having a plan, having an approach is what we call it.
Full count, 2 outs. Pitch to the plate. Ball is lifted. That's going to be a high fly out. It's going towards center. Let's make sure he can field it cleanly. And he does. So beautiful play in outfield in the center field by Rohandri Javier. Talladega gets a run, but they leave 2 on the base pads. And we head to the bottom of the 7th. Let's stand up and stretch as we go to the bottom half of the 7th. Scores 5-2. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning here as Florida Memorial will come to the plate with a 5-2 lead now. At the plate, number 41, Luis Verlandi, the catcher.
Big chance right here for Talladega to hold the Lions. They can hold them to 3 this inning. You know, 4, 5, 6, excuse me, make that 5, 6, 7 coming up for the Talladega Tornadoes next inning. I'd like to see a good 1, 2, 3 inning from Wood right here, Brian.
Woo, big cut there by Verlandi.
Swung out of shoes.
Brought him right out of his shoes. He's trying to send that to the train tracks.
Trying to send it 677 miles away.
Jack Wood with the 1-2 pitch. Off speed, that's going to be a high pop-up. Let's see, does the catcher have it? Hangs high up. Comes right down, good catch.
That's what you want to see from your defense with those high fly balls. You know, you want to see them covering the sun with their gloves, just like you were taught in Little League, and then you come in with it the last second. Now, also with that being said, I mean, the defense right here for the Tornadoes have got to settle down as well, Brian. This is a good opportunity for these guys. And the first batter out, actually, again. That's definitely what you want here.
That's at least the 3rd pop-up. That, you know, in foul territory, the previous 2 they didn't catch.
Right.
One of them cost them a couple of runs. So Nathan Harris steps in now for Florida Memorial. Harris 1 for 2 on the day with a run scored and drew a walk as well. What do you think of the pace that Wood is pitching at right now? Seems like he's picked up the pace a little bit in between pitches.
Yeah, I think he's getting the groove, you know, and like I say, he's not doing a bad job. Coach is going to stick with him. You know, he can go a couple innings. And, again, they're losing right now 5-2, so you don't want to waste your bullpen too much. You know, you're trying to go with one guy, and, you know, if Jack Wood is the guy that you don't mind, you know, quote-unquote wasting for the day, I think he'll be just all right. I think he'll be just fine.
The 2-2 outside, full count now for Harris.
Because I'm assuming if Jack Wood is your guy out the bullpen, I mean, him going 3 innings today, it looks as though they got somebody they'll bring in next inning for the 8th. But if you bring him 3 innings today, you may be able – oh, I almost had it.
Yeah.
If you bring him 3 innings today, possibly if you win tomorrow, you definitely get him back in for Friday. If not, maybe one inning tomorrow or so.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Outside, and Harris finds himself on base. 2 walks, and he's been hit. So, this young man finds a way to get on base.
In the 9-hole.
In the 9-hole, exactly.
Yeah, but also something you don't want to see after getting the first batter out. You get yourself out the hole, then you put yourself back in the hole. You got to be consistent upon that pitcher's mound.
And now Talladega has to deal with Rafael Javier, who is 4 for 4 on the day, 3 runs scored. And he has just been a pest of sorts in the leadoff spot.
I want to shout out to everybody out there supporting on the live broadcast, all the Flomo fans, all the Talladega Tornado fans. Hey, please post in the chat. Let us know where you're from. Let us know who you're supporting. What's your son's name, what is your nephew's name, or what have you. Thank you for everybody watching out there in Internet land today. Thank you.
Rahandri takes that one. 2 balls. No strikes. Let's see if Wood decides to check Harris over at first.
I'd like to see him hold him on just a tad bit. You don't want to let this runner get to second base. There it is right there.
Good call.
Now, one thing I'm not a fan of picking off too much late in the game. There's been an influx of throwing the ball away.
Oh, okay.
On the pitcher's mound over to first base, and you definitely don't want that runner to get to second on the pickoff. Just something you got to practice, and you got to be excellent at, because you think it's easy to throw the ball 25 feet away, but sometimes kids have a lot of trouble throwing the ball close places.
I thought you were going to go down the unwritten rule of baseball path with that.
No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of unwritten rules. I don't mind a kid swinging on 3-0 if it's a good swing, if it's if it's supported. I don't mind a kid scoring, a couple of more runs when you're up a certain amount of runs. I've lived a different experience, and the unwritten rules just don't fit my style. I'll be honest.
The 3-1 pitch, and Javier's on base again. I'll tell you, some performances today, not only by Gomez, but how about what Javier has shown today. And so Florida Memorial now with runners on first and second, both off of walks, and here comes, looks like a change is going to be made here.
Yeah, I think that's going to
by Coach Dominguez.
This coach's 3rd time coming out, so he's definitely going to have to make a change, and he's going to go to the bullpen.
Well, did we catch that number there in the bullpen?
No, not yet.
Well, that'll bring a close to Jack Wood's day as he daps up his infield, outfielders. Looks like the new pitcher will be number 12. So we'll tell you who number 12 is in just a moment. Let's take a short break as we go to the bullpen. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car. Miss Hogan's class? Yeah, it's Atlantis. Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis. Really?
Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
Our truest call to the pen brings up number 12, Winston Garcia, the freshman right-handed pitcher from Santiago, Dominican Republic. Comes in for Talladega here, faced with 2 runners on and 1 out. Both runners credited to Jack Wood. There's a tight pitch.
And as you saw, he showed bunt again, trying to throw the third baseman off, run a little play action there, maybe get the defense out of position. Shows bunt again and didn't put it down. I got to wonder if he's going to actually put it down this time after showing it twice. Third baseman is still close to the bag. First baseman is on the corner on the edge.
Ulysses Rodriguez at the plate here, 0 for 2. That pitch way outside.
Well, first, he's got to throw a strike for you to even attempt to put the bunt down. Give him a chance.
There's a strike. See what the count is. The scoreboard showing the count is 1-1.
I got 3-1.
3-1. Okay, that's what I thought here. 3 balls and 1 strike by Garcia. To the plate. There's a strike. Strike 2.
I gotta believe that he was taken all the way here. I think they're gonna let the bullpen throw some strikes before they get ready to swing a bat.
A ball chopped towards the pitcher, goes over to first. Good concentration there by Garcia. It's a good way to shake off any kind of rust there, you know. Does a good job of getting out of the inning. So now runners advance to second and third. And Jalen Young will come to the plate now. Young 0 for 4 on the day, with 1 strikeout.
Good fielding pitcher there by Winston Garcia on that last pitch. Call that a PFP. Something you learn in pitchers fielding practice. At least twice a week with most programs.
Woo! That one hit him, so no need to take any extra bases as that pitch by Garcia hits Young. And probably the last person Talladega wanted to see come to the plate with the bases loaded is none other than Axel Gomez.
Yeah, the guy was just been on fire today. And, you know, Winston Garcia put himself in this position. But nevertheless, he's still 1 pitch away, you know, from getting out the inning. So big spot here for the Tornadoes, but also a big spot here for the Lions. I mean, maybe they can go ahead and break it open right here and possibly in this contest if they can score 7 runs.
Axel Gomez 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs on the day. A double and a home run. He's had a complete game. Scored a run, been hit by a pitch, struck out. Done a little bit of everything today. Showed the leather in the infield. Gomez, a senior from Guantanamo, Cuba, went to Miami Coral Park High School. Fouls that ball off.
Yeah, and as we talk about the Miami area, Brian, as we know, it's a big Cuban area, big Cuban influence. lot of Cuban families down there, a lot of Cuban kids, a lot of Cuban background kids playing baseball in that area. And you'll see quite a few kids on the college rosters, you know, from the island of Cuba. And shouts out to the people in Cuba who lost their life in the big explosion this past week.
The 1-2 caught looking, and nice pitch there by Winston Garcia to get out of that inning. So Florida Memorial leaves 2 runners on the base pads, and we head over to the top of the 8th inning. Florida Memorial leading 5-2. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Our Truist call to the pen brings out another pitcher for Florida Memorial. Is Joselito Diaz.
Trying to make a living and y'all trying to kill us.
Joselito, a sophomore, 6'4", from Pembroke Pines, Florida, went to Miramar Everglades High School.
And Everglades having a really good program over there in the Everglades part of the Miami area. You know, great job by the Florida Memorial Lions to, you know, recruit some local kids as well. You know, even on the side of the Talladega Tornadoes, recruiting Jack Wood, who's right there from the Talladega area. You know, he's probably grown up listening to, you know, plenty of Talladega 500s in his lifetime. Had a chance to see the Daytona 500 Daytona Raceway as I, you know, did some time in Florida this spring as well.
Okay.
Really big, really nice facility.
Adriel Acevedo stepping in for Talladega here.
I think the baseball game could be played in a raceway. I think if you lay some turf down in the middle, you could probably set it up.
Have a thought on it in a second as he lifts that ball.
Talladega's got the 3 turns, right? Or Daytona's got the 3 turns.
Put it like this: there are many things that you could do in unique,
like baseball in the Rose Bowl.
In unique places,
like baseball in the Rose Bowl.
You know, you have to. The question is, can you be creative enough? There's a shot that's lifted. That's going to might get over the right fielder's head. It's going towards the wall, off the wall. Acevedo towards second. And a beautiful piece of hitting there as that double got over the right fielder, Jalen Young's head.
Yeah, great leadoff double there, you know, for the Talladega Tornadoes. Just waiting on their pitch. You know, a new pitcher, knowing he's going to throw strikes, being selective, and just swinging at the right one that you can get a handle on. Talking about unique places, the White Sox playing with the Yankees last year in Iowa. With the with the Field of Dreams game.
Sweat Dominguez comes to the plate. And he hits a ball towards left field. Will it be enough to bring a runner home? No, I don't think he's going to even attempt, as Acevedo holds up at third. And so now runners are on the corners with no outs.
Now you're one swing away. are the Tornadoes. And if you could manage, to get a couple of runs here, in the 8th, and hold them in the bottom half of the 8th, you've got a shot coming back for the 9th.
Got to give a shout out to Joselito's sister, who's tuned in, shouting out her brother who's on the mound.
Is that Luna J?
I believe so.
All right.
So got a runner coming in for, let's see, that runner came in for Dominguez. Courtesy. Now is
that's a pinch run.
I was going to say, because the courtesy runner 34 had been coming in for
the catcher.
The catcher. Now he comes in for Dominguez.
So this is a courtesy runner. This is a pinch runner situation. That means coach is looking to get that run in this inning. Now, Dominguez can actually come back into the game on defense on the reentry rule if he chooses, or he can come back in at whatever point of the game he wants to. In that, as long as he comes in that situation.
Barry Rincon, the freshman from Boston, Massachusetts, comes to the plate here. Got an opportunity to bring this game a little bit closer. He essentially is the tying run at the plate. The 2-0 pitch, good check back over to first.
And that's a good check right there. Although he wasn't far off the back, he didn't have to, he didn't have a big lead. Still want to let you know that I'm thinking about you over there.
Thinking about you.
Yep. But you want to find something you can drive down the right field line right here. Big hole between first and second base. And that may have been the pitch. 2-0, I would have been swinging right there. And he says it. He patted on his chest and said, my bad. He missed that one. He knew he should have been swinging.
Okay.
Big gap in left center.
Rincon facing a 2-1 count. Takes that one, though. Now the count is 3-1.
Yeah, but sometimes when you miss your pitch on a 2-0 count, that ball comes back, and now you're sitting 3-1, and now you're one pitch away from getting on base, a free bag at that.
3-1. What's the call here? Are you swinging away, or are you?
Well, I think you'll play the pitch. I think we'll play the percentages. I don't mind unless you get something you can drive over the right field fence. I think you take right here all the way, bases loaded.
The 3-1 by Diaz.
That's a good one.
And that's a hit towards left field. That'll bring a run in. So a good piece of hitting by Rincon. And it's a 5-3 game now.
Yeah, coach has got the lefty down there warming up in the bullpen. And knowing that Talladega has quite a few lefties on the ball club today, he's probably going to go with a lefty-lefty matchup with the next AB.
So Diaz coming in, needing to get it out here, faced 3 batters. 2 of them are on the base pads. One of them has already scored. Needing to get it out here, facing Isaac Guzman.
And I like the decision to go for the bunt. I don't like the fact that he didn't execute it, but I like the fact that coach is playing for the 2, because if you play for the 2, put the runners in scoring position, yeah, coach can put the other runner on and get the double play, but a hit still scores 2 in that situation. Just got to make sure the third baseman doesn't come in too far. Now take a look at the shortstop right here. If the shortstop breaks to the bag early to third base, they may be trying to get the runner at third. Let's see how it works. Shortstop is at third. Here comes the bunt. Actually, it was a fake bunt. We call that a slash. So what he did was that he saw the shortstop coming towards third base, and 9 took a chance. He took a chance in trying to swing it and put that ball right there where the shortstop would be and maybe get 1 run in.
Umpire brings the ball out to Baez. Baez now with a 0-2 count here. I should correct myself. I thought it was Isaac Guzman.
Actually, at the plate now is Yahiel Figueroa, who's pinch hitting. That ball is inside. So Figueroa comes in to pinch hit for Guzman. Counts 1-2. Caught him swinging. There's a good off-speed pitch by Diaz to get his first out. He needed that one.
I'm pretty quite sure Figueroa was in there to try to lay down a bunt, you know. Being that Figueroa is batting 0.045 on the season, I don't think he was in there to try to pinch hit and maybe get some RBIs.
So now the center fielder, Darlin Fernandez, comes to the plate. Fernandez, 0 for 2 on the day. Has scored a run, though. He was hit by a pitch. Big cut there and a big miss.
I want to apologize, and I said the Rose Bowl. I should have said baseball is played in the L.A. Coliseum. It wasn't a game played in the Rose Bowl. I think it was played in the Coliseum.
See, I don't recall seeing that.
That was the Angels.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that. Was that recent?
About maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
There's also a game played in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. The Astros played the Rangers there. Exhibition.
Baez on that last pitch a little tight there inside.
Sorry about that, Ms. Griffin.
Count is 0-1. Actually, should be 1-1. Called strike there. A little delayed there by the umpire. So now Baez now seems to have settled down a bit after getting one out, throwing some good strikes here. He's up on the batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tying run is at first base. Fernandez represents the go-ahead run here at the plate. 5-3 lead for Florida Memorial. Top of the 8th.
And that's what you call a timing pick. You know, just kind of time it just in time to try to get the runner. They're going to hold him on at second base. Don't want him to get too much of a lead there at second base.
So that's the pinch runner, Jair Cruz. Another big cut by Fernandez, and he is down swinging. So 2 strikeouts for Joselito Baez after giving up a run and allowing 2 on. He's held those 2 runners on first and second, and now is 1 out away from getting out of this inning. Top of the lineup for Talladega, Rafael Diaz. Diaz 2 for 4 today. 1 run scored and 1 RBI. Hits that ball towards right, drops in front of the right fielder. Is it enough to bring a run home? The play at the plate. Sliding safe is Cruz. Cuts the deficit to 1. That was a good throw there by the right fielder, Young. Probably just a little bit up the line, though.
And a really good job there by the runner. As we talked about, he was being held up. He was being held on by the second baseman. Didn't want him to get too much. But when that ball was hit, he ran off the bat and was thinking 4 all the way. He saw Coach waving his arm. Take it home, take it home. Jersey is dirty tonight. He'll have a lot of fun remembering that slide.
Well, that's going to be it for Joselito Baez. And so we've got a Truist call to the pin coming up. We'll let you know who that pitcher is right after this break. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
All right, well, our truest call to the pin brings out another pitcher, a freshman from Brooklyn, New York, Isaiah Espiritu Santos. I think I got that one right.
You know what that is? It's the Coliseum. It's baseball in the Coliseum. Found a picture of it. Right field fence smaller than the monster at Fenway. Excuse me, the left field fence smaller than the monster at Fenway.
Espiritu Santos. We're just gonna say Isaiah has runners on the corners. Tying runners at third, 90 feet away from home. At the plate, Jose Santiago.
Say that all in one sentence. The pitcher and the batter.
Not even going to try. Santiago, 2-4 today. There's a called strike.
I like the lefty in this situation right here for two reasons. One, you throw the right-handed batter off, but two, you keep that runner tight over at first base. You don't let him get the second.
One ball and one strike. Late to the plate. There's a cut. The runner's going from first to second. I think you let him have it. I think you let him have
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Don't even attempt to throw that, because really all you need is one strike, one out, plays at first, either way. So it's a 1-2 count now. Isaiah versus Jose Santiago. The pitch to the plate. Lifted up. There's a pop-up. Can Florida Memorial. Will it stay in bounds? It will. Great play by the catcher, Valandi. And Talladega leaves two on the base pads. But they do score 2 runs to get within a run of Florida Memorial. But the Lions still leading 5-4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Bottom of the 8th inning here. Luis Ruiz in the box for Florida Memorial. Ruiz 1 for 2 today with an RBI. Has struck out once, been hit by a pitch twice. Big cut there, swing and miss.
And not a bad swing on 2-0 count. That's usually the best fastball count you can swing on 2-0, one of the highest percentage, counts in college baseball. Why not take a hack out of your shoes?
The 2-1 pitch towards first. First baseman says he's got it, and Arias fields it and steps on the bag. One away. Junior Sanchez comes to the plate now. He's 1 for 2 as well. He's actually walked twice.
I think he's going to try to stay away right here in this at bat. They know what Javier, they know what Sanchez can do. Sanchez is also another gap-to-gap type of guy.
Winston Garcia, the pitcher on the mound for Talladega. Down now 3-0. The 3-0 pitch, called strike.
Umpire kept him in the box.
The 3-1 to Santiago, outside, ball 4. And Santiago, he was ready to take his bases. And that's the third walk that Santiago has taken today. So, good plate discipline by that young man. Now Fernando Vila, first baseman, steps in the box. Vila looking for his first hit today. He's 0 for 4.
Yeah, and this would be an opportune time to get it. I mean, just a chance to get that run over from first to second, hopefully first to third, preferably. Could set something up right here for the Lions with number 41, Volandi, on deck.
Garcia peeking over his shoulder, comes to the plate. It's another strike.
Yeah, Vila just kind of being selective right here. You know, being a good two-strike hitter, having a good two-strike approach. We've seen it all day from both teams.
The 0-2 pitch. Outside and away.
And I like that. You know, Winston Garcia trying to touch that outside corner. That's the kind of pitch where you kind of, want to make the batter look. You kind of want to freeze him with 2 strikes.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch, runners going, tight inside.
You got him.
The throw, safe. Sanchez slides in under the tag. Coach Rodriguez comes out to object.
He's saying it looks as though he missed him on the hand. Well, missed him on the arm, rather. We may have to use instant replay next year.
Well, another thing, as I just, watched that play, because Santiago actually, or Sanchez actually, there's a ball that's lifted up towards.
That could be trouble.
Who's got it? Center fielder's coming in. Had to come all the way in to get that one. Was Fernandez, but that's 2 outs. Where I was going was Sanchez slid actually past the base, and had the shortstop been able to sort of stay there with the tag, I noticed he came off the bag very quickly. Had he been able to stay there, he might have caught him,
well, I'm
off
glad
the
you
bag.
say that because, one thing that you're taught is to keep the tag on the runner till he gets up off the bag. So maybe
Or he
that's
calls
something
time, right?
until he calls time, correct.
So 2 outs here. This could be the last at-bat for Florida Memorial here, leading 5-4. They've given up runs in the top of the 7th and top of the 8th to Talladega to cut the deficit to 1 run. So I'm sure Coach Burgos would love to get an insurance run here if they can bring Sanchez home. Inside, called strike though.
And I don't see any bullpen guys up for the Florida Memorial Lions right now. It looks as though Coach is going to stick with what he's got in the game right now. Esprit Santos.
And that pitch is high. So check that. It is 3 balls and 1 strike. Fernando Vila. Big cut, swinging, strike 2. Winston Garcia now with the full count, 2 outs. Runner on second. The pitch to the plate. Inside, call ball 4. And that puts Vila on first.
Talladega dugout definitely wanted that strike call right there on that pitch. Would have helped them out a lot. But, again, still, Talladega still 1 pitch away. Florida Memorial trying to open it up here, trying to get some insurance runs. And with Nathan Harris up, he looks to try to maybe drive something deep right here.
Looks like we had a courtesy runner come in. That was Luis Verlandi, the catcher, who walked. And so, obviously, to give him an opportunity to get his pads back on, they have a courtesy runner on first. Harris now in the DH spot is 1 for 2 today.
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Are we doing a picture?
And coach is going to come out and talk to his young pitcher here. Just to let people know, game number 3 scheduled to start at 5 p.m. Central, 6 Eastern, between Miles College and the defending Black College World Series champions, Bluefield State. The 4th game will start at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, between Edward Waters and Rust.
Coach Dominguez out there to talk to his pitcher, try to settle him down a little bit. Got a 1-run ball game right here, son. Just kind of, settle down, give us a good strike, give us a good pitch that we can, play some defense behind you on.
Harris fouls that pitch back, and it's a 1-2 count now for Winston Garcia. Chance to get out of this inning and head to the top of 9. Big cut, swinging miss by Nathan Harris, and Florida Memorial leaves their 15th and 16th runners on the base pads today. Woo. A lot of people have been left on the base pads, and they are 3 outs away. And we head to the top of 9. Talladega needs 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead, and force a bottom half of the 9th. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark.
Back to live action here in the top of the 9th inning. And leading off for Talladega, Miguel Oropeza.
A good leadoff hit right here would do Talladega some justice and give them a shot to tie this game.
He's 0 for 2 on the day. Walked twice though. Lifts the ball towards left center. Going towards the wall. Just underneath the yellow line.
That's still trouble.
2.
Send him.
Rounding second. Going to third. No, he's holding him up at third. And a big leadoff triple by Miguel Oropeza, as that one just came up underneath the yellow line there that sits atop the outfield fence there in left center.
If you can get that shot, get that shot.
Just sat on something that he could drive to give his team a shot. Got him a fastball right at belt high and was able to put it out in the outfield. And the way it bounced off the wall, it didn't bounce back to the center fielder. It bounced away, which added an extra base on his hit.
And went towards right. So the tying run 90 feet away. Florida Memorial, 3 outs away. Infield is in on Wander Arias, as they will obviously set up to try to hold that runner.
So if you can see which one head is up and doing a little dance.
Isaias Espiritu Santos on the mound.
If he can get out of this, then I think he's actually in run for maybe pitcher of the weekend.
The 6'4" freshman from Brooklyn, New York.
BK.
In the house.
Hello to everybody watching back in BK.
The 1-1 pitch. High and outside, ball 2.
Looking for something that he can drive right into the outfield somewhere. Just the RBI would tie it up for the Tornadoes if he can get something belt high.
The 2-1 pitch, swinging, big cut there by Arias.
And not a bad pitch to swing, going 2-1. You're ahead in the count. You know you're going to get some sort of fastball, something that you can drive. I'm okay with the swing and miss right there.
Adriel Acevedo on deck for Talladega. The 2-2 pitch. Lifts the ball high towards right field. It might be enough to bring a run home. Tag. Play to the plate. Oh, they do hold. So that ball was thrown up the third base line.
Yeah, but I like the way that the runner at third base, he forced the throw from the outfield. You never know what happens. He throws that ball, it gets behind the catcher or it gets away from the catcher or whatnot. You make him make a throw. You tag, you fake the tag, and you force him to make a throw. I like it. But also great defense there by the Lions.
Acevedo comes to the plate now with one out. Runner still on third. That's the tying run. Acevedo's the go-ahead run. Infield in.
Or pays it a runner at third.
Florida Memorial 2 outs away from advancing. Strike 2.
Something down right here. You don't want the guy, you don't want the hitter, you don't want Acevedo to lift this ball. Something down, maybe inside. You want to force a ground ball to your infield who's playing in right now.
The 0-2 pitch by Isaias. Infield in. Big cut, swinging miss. Strike 2.
Great job by Espiritu Santos to get the strikeout right there. Now what you do for your defense is you can make them play regular depth. They don't have to be a pressure. It doesn't have to be a pressure situation. They don't have to worry about the runner at home. You play for one right here, and you head into tomorrow against the winner between Rust and Bluefield State.
Jaquan Nieves.
Excuse me, check that. Rust and Edward Waters.
Jaquan Nieves came in as a pinch runner now on third. Juswet Dominguez is at the plate. 2 outs for Memorial. 1 out away from advancing to the semifinals.
What you don't want to do right here is give them a pass ball and let that run score. So you got to throw something up right here. You can't be afraid to keep it up. Nothing low in the dirt.
Winner of this game advances to the semifinals tomorrow at 12:30 Central.
And there's the baseball moving. You step off, you got to at least force a throw or fake a throw to whatever bag that the runner is at.
The 1-0 pitch to Dominguez. Outside and away. Ball 2. Dominguez 2 for 3 today. Has scored a run and walked once.
You know, I'm not sure that this coach, you may have to look for a steal right here on third on coming home.
Well, I got to imagine that's why they put Nieves in.
He's getting a little bit more and more every time. There, oh my goodness, great pick by the catcher.
That pitch was behind the batter, and so now it's a 3-0 count with 2 outs. Nobody up in the bullpen, so Coach Burgos is riding with Isaias here.
Hello to Caleb Morales. Supporting Isaias.
The 3-0 pitch. High, and they gave him nothing good there. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because now you have a force opportunity here because you could go to second or you could go to first. Now the question is, will Talladega look to advance the runner on first to try to possibly put 2 runners into scoring position? So here's the strategy. A lot of strategy coming in as both coaches are out. Coach Dominguez and I think Coach Burgos definitely coming to the mound to talk strategy and make sure everybody on the infield is on the same page. Where do we want to go if certain things happen? Nick, how are you coaching this situation?
Well, one thing you got to do is defend first and third situations. What we talked about is the heart of the situation to defend in college baseball. So right now you can send that, if you're Coach Dominguez for the Talladega Tornadoes, you can send that runner at first, and if you're Coach Burgos, you have to kind of coach against that. Now you got 2 options. Do you want to cut the run off and get the run coming home, or do you want to try to throw it straight to the bag and get the out and go home? Now, with that, or do you just let the runner go and you don't even worry about it right now and you just play for one no matter what?
Okay, go ahead.
To be honest, I'll try to throw through and get the out. You know, maybe the faster runner right now is on third base, and that way the runner at first, you know, you have a better chance of getting the runner out at first than you do at third.
Barry Rincon steps in the box. 2 for 4 today with 1 RBI. First pitch called strike to Rincon.
First of all, that's the first thing you want to do is throw a strike in this situation. Let's get ahead of the count.
The 0-1 pitch by Isaias. Strike 2. Rincon took that one too. So now you're down 0-2, 2 outs. Tying run is on third.
The lines are open here. Usually you want to cover the lines, but the Florida Memorial lines are more so playing the gaps. Left field line and right field line is open, so it's possible that a double can be had right here if you get it down the line.
And you've also got to throw a good pitch that your catcher can catch.
Now,
because a pass ball brings a run home.
Not necessarily a drop third strike as well. You don't want that to happen, and you don't want to have to force a throw to first base.
The 0-2 pitch by Isaias to the plate. Foul.
And that was a kind of stay alive swing. Just kind of threw his hands out there, getting that barrel out on the ball, trying to do something with it. You know, he didn't want to go down swinging. Or go down looking, rather.
The 0-2 pitch to Rincon.
Oh, my
Hit
goodness.
towards second.
My goodness.
The play to first. Oh, he's off the pad, but he is out. Nearly pulled the first baseman off of the bag, but a beautiful play there by the second baseman, Ruiz, and almost on cue. The horn goes off by the train. Chalk that up as a win for Florida Memorial, a 5-4 win over Talladega. Beautiful game of baseball, folks. My goodness, 2 great teams giving us a great finish here as Talladega tried to rally from a 4-run deficit, and we're 90 feet away from tying this ball game up. We'll step away and put a bow on game number 2 here between Florida Memorial and Talladega. Our final score, Florida Memorial 5, Talladega 4. We'll be back in a moment to close the game up. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car. Miss Hogan's class? Yeah, it's Atlantis. Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis. Really?
Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburn.com www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Our final score here from game number 2 between Florida Memorial and Talladega, 5-4 to the Lions. Talladega finished with 5 runs on 9 hits, 1 error committed. They left 16 batters on the base pad. Talladega, 4 runs, 11 hits, left 11 runners on base. Probably the win will go to Florida Memorial's Max Sharnin, as he'll get the win. Would Isaiah get the save? Would you qualify his performance there in the 8th and 9th worthy of getting the save?
Yeah, he definitely came in with a lead that was less than 3 runs. So, and he finished it out. And he finished out in good fashion. You know, he looked pretty good. You know, a little scary in that last inning. Talladega Tornadoes, you know, got a little, you know, antsy, and they gained a little momentum, but they couldn't get the job done. And you mentioned it. I mean, both teams right now, they didn't do a good job of moving runners over and bringing runners in. 27 between both ball clubs. I mean, 11 for the loser and 16 for the winner. I mean, so just imagine, you know, and I mean, but a good job by getting on base. You know, they took some good pitches, they took some good swings, and, you know, there was some good baseball in that game.
Yeah, definitely. What do you make of the number of batters left on the base pads?
I mean, I think that was the difference, you know, for both ball clubs. You know, maybe if you bring in 3 more of those runners, we've got we're probably still playing baseball right now, maybe in the 11th inning, you know, with all the runs that could have been scored, you know, and I mean, it happens like that sometime in this game. That's why we come to the park, and we'll find something different that happens every time we come out to this baseball field.
Max Charnin again, his final numbers, 5-inning pitch, 3 hits, 1 earned run allowed, struck out 2, walked 2, faced 20 batters. In terms of hitting performances for Florida Memorial, you probably have to give it over to Rahandri Javier for going 4 for 4. Scoring 3 times with a double, walked once, stole a base. But then also Axel Gomez, he was 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, scored once, had a double and a home run, and was hit by a pitch once.
Yeah, and I think that may have been the difference in this contest when the first baseman, that was, I think that was Arias, he dropped the fly ball in the sun. And then with 2 strikes, you know, Gomez comes up and puts the ball over the left field fence. You know, those things like that, those things that cost you in a 1-run ball game. You know, we talk about 1-run ball game, situational baseball, but that home run was the difference maker in this contest, as we just saw.
For Talladega, they got a good pitching performance from Ricardo Blackman, pitched 6 1/3. He did give up, you know, 5 earned runs, struck out 5, walked 5, but they got 6 1/3 out of him, and they only went to one other pitcher, Winston Garcia, and Garcia did a pretty good job there, facing, you know, it went 1 2/3 innings. Talladega had 4 batters with more than 2 hits, but Rafael Diaz at the top of the lineup, he was 3. No, check that. I'm looking at the wrong numbers actually. In terms of hits.
Well, like we say, you know, when it comes to pitching and Blackman, you know, it wasn't the fact that he did a bad job. Yeah, the stat line goes to him on the runs, but you know, I got to talk about the unearned runs. I know there should-haves, and I know we can assume everything, but I think Blackman did his job today. He kept his team inside the ball game. It was the errors that hurt him behind him. Matter of fact, it was the error at first base, and it was the error at third base on that side as well.
All right, so spinning it forward and what it looks like for both of these teams, Florida Memorial advances to the semifinals where they'll take on the winner of tonight's Edward Waters Rust matchup. That will be tomorrow at 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. And the contest between Talladega will move to the losers bracket. Their round 1 game in the losers bracket will start at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern against the loser of tonight's Edward Waters Rust contest. So we'll wait to see how that goes. Coming up next, game number 3 of the day. between Miles College and Bluefield State. The winner takes on Albany State tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central, 10 Eastern. So that's going to do it for tonight's broadcast. Special thanks to our camera operators and our producer-director, Melody Lucas, for her work in this contest. For my partner, Nick Strong, I'm Brian Fulford. Hang around in 5 o'clock Central, 6 Eastern. We have game number 3 of the day between Miles and Bluefield State coming up. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching, folks, and we'll see you a little bit later in about an hour for game number 3. You're watching the Tyson Foods Black College World Series on the Black College Sports Network.
We're opening the door to better financial services, better experiences, better partnerships, better technology, better communities, and a better future.
At Tyson, we know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.